Alright, so we just did a bunch of stuff on Elaaden, and I know we said we were probably not about to jump straight into doing the vault there, although that really is the big thing that we have left to do. And so now, after having a little bit of time in between streams, perhaps we are ready to jump back in at into the vault at Elaaden. Otherwise, other things that we could now target. It has been a while. I don't remember what category this is technically under. Maybe under Helios assignments? But the various Arc-related quests, we really haven't done much in that regard. I think, what, on... Don't even remember which planets they're technically on. We were doing some things for the Asari one on Eos, but I think we then may have gotten bumped over to Vold after that. So, yeah, we'll figure that stuff out, but that may be next on the list after that. But let's, before we get all caught up in all those things.
Outstanding, Pathfinder.
Oh, I did not remember that we did have AVP outstanding, but let's go over to this area and see what else we can do, because I know we'll definitely, at the very least, have some strike teams, missions, and whatnot to turn in. Oh, we have 2? Oh. Okay. Oops. I think I must have forgotten about that then. I think we had said that it was the consumables, the extra consumables that we were thinking of getting next. Which is... Or did we already get those? 1 extra consumable slot, always prepared. 1 additional consumable. Okay, we have all the consumable spots. In that case, what do we want? Credits from Apex missions? I mean, we'll talk about this in a second, but I think may want to not do that for reasons. Organic materials, I mean, it's probably fairly late on to be doing that. Common mining nodes, Feels like we've gotten all the really big stuff at this point. Amount of time it takes to receive research points. Amount of time required to gather minerals. Blah. Commerce pods? Better prices buying and selling items? I mean... Not really sure there's... much better at this point. Then again, I think we can basically craft any and everything that we want right now, and that's probably the best way to get just about anything. So, sure. I didn't really know what to expect out of these hidden caches, which is why I, for the most part, did not choose to get this one. Probably going to be a bit tedious to go around and... I don't think I'm about to go to every single forward station and try to see if there's new loot there. And also not entirely clear, is it right next to the forward stations? The fact that it says that they're hidden, does that mean that they actually do require some searching around? I don't know. So it would have been easier to have done that earlier, of course, because now it'd take a pretty concerted effort to track all those things down. But sure, we'll leave it at that for the time being. And then I mean... Let's go... hunting parties, because... reasons. Some of those reasons being that it's the one of those types of rewards that we've not yet unlocked. The other, though, is that one of the alternatives would have been to increase our rewards from Apex missions, which, at the time, we thought, 15% or whatever the number is on a relatively small number. It's kind of hard to get excited about that. But that was before we were consistently getting 120 packs opened every week. And I think we've now reached the point where it is absolutely busted, the amount of resources that we've gotten and weapons and what have you. I mean, we've been breaking down all those weapons into components thus far 95% of the time. We haven't sold much of anything. However, if we were to do that with this round, and why don't we claim them? Give it a second. Give it several seconds. Pretty sure I pressed the button. There we go. Yes. Okay, I thought this was about to warn us that we were going to run out of inventory space when doing this, which, to be honest, probably should have double-checked how much inventory space we had. How's this? The game might have frozen. and by that I mean the game technically frozen is not the right word to describe it. We will never escape this pop-up menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliberately wait a little bit longer because I believe the game by default autosaves every minute, and I'm not 100% sure if we might be about to lose all these boxes. But I guess what I was about to say is that we've done this so aggressively that we have just made it. I think we've gotten to the point where basically any and all crafting materials are just about insignificant because we've more than we'll ever need, or very close to the amount that we would ever need if we continue to be very aggressive with crafting, kind of like we were last week. So I don't think that's going to be a major issue. And then it just means that, you know, any other drops from here on out become borderline completely insignificant, and that's maybe not a place where we want to be in. So for that reason, I was thinking we might slow down. I know we talked about it for a while, considering doing this, but slow down / stopping doing the Apex missions, because otherwise, yeah, I mean, feels like that's a pretty crucially important part of the game, or at least a somewhat important part of the game that we'd be missing out on in that case. So yeah, I might not do them to the same extent that I've been doing them in the past. Let's now, oh wow, I can't even pause the game. Nope, we may full-blown need to restart Mass Effect right now. All right, lovely. Let's just close the game. Should have been a minute there, so I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that, that the game will remember that we have redeemed those and actually give us the things that we redeemed from those packs and not just have them disappear into the ether. But, I mean, as I was just saying, then again, maybe that's not the absolute end of the world, because we are basically at the point where those don't matter to us that much anymore. And yes, we haven't really been selling the items from those things that we've gotten in the past, but then again, if we're at the point where we don't really need to break them down into components anymore, if we were to sell them all this time around, then one single round of selling them is probably already enough that we'd be pretty rich from doing so. And again, considering how we can pretty much craft any and everything that we would ever want, what are we ever going to need to purchase that is really expensive? Probably not much, so it's not even like we need much money at this stage. Alright, but yes, now the stuff starts coming in. So, looks like the game did remember, but it just got a little stuck when we tried to redeem 120 plus rewards all at once, which, you know, we've seen some stuff like that happen once or twice in the past. So I, granted, didn't check exactly how many credits we had before we did all this stuff, but we'll see what other things pop up here. So it's going to be a pretty long list, of course. Some of these things, some Rosa Rad was ultra rare. I thought that was not ultra rare. I thought, wasn't that the shotgun that has the very prominent blade at the front? Maybe I'm misremembering. But yeah, so maybe this time we will sell most / all of the things that drop from this, and we'll see just how much of a difference that makes, unless there's something that really catches our attention. It's like these ultra rares. If we get an ultra rare that we don't yet have at level 6, then maybe we keep it, but now that we've done some pretty aggressive crafting, for the most part, it's not like we're about to switch over to an ultra rare weapon, even if it's level 6, because there's such a huge difference between the ones that would drop from these and from other enemies and what have you, and the ones that we actually craft with all the augmentations. So, let's see. What is our credit count? 70,600 or so? So, I guess maybe we just, let's just go straight to selling. And I suppose when we're on the sell screen, we can figure out if there's anything that we feel the wants to hold on to. Granted, yeah, no, we have a crafted Black Widow, so let's sell this. This, like some of the shotgun, like Crusader, I think was one that we were saying we might, I mean, in the past, why are you not letting me do this? Okay, there we go. Yeah, now the game is getting a little laggy, even when just going through like this. Let's see, so like these are worth, the ultra rares at least, a little over 1,000 per weapon. And so what was, oh no, this was the SMG that we used briefly. Okay. But the thing that we may still benefit from receiving more of would be mods. Because those, I don't know if you can really ever purchase them from shops. 30% tech power damage. What? Where does this go? Did we just get this for the first time? Or is this one of those super ultra rare fusion mod? Oh, yeah. Is that one of the ones that's supposed to have the big downsides? The 30% tech damage? I mean, that's really good. Because we are primarily using tech. But, I mean, if we just got that for the first time, then we may very well find ourselves choosing to use that. But we'll give it a closer look in a little bit. It did have the little exclamation mark as if it was our first time seeing it, but not sure if that's just because we're looking at it now directly on a cell screen, whereas in the past we saw it, yes, in passing. Okay, well, I was totally looking for this consumable in the past, and I absolutely could not find it. Where was this before? An explosive projectile launched from an Omni tool that deals massive damage. This is exactly what I was looking for on at least one prior occasion recently. Like against that big remnant, I forget what the name of the enemy was, but the one that kept on spawning stuff down below on the asteroid, basically, vault area. This is what I wanted to use to destroy it. And then we didn't have it currently equipped, but I thought we went back. We definitely did go back, and I was trying to find this. But I couldn't track it down, so I'm very surprised to see that we actually do have it. And I'm pretty sure that we went to the consumable screen and tried to equip it, and we didn't see it there either, so I don't know what to make of that. But yeah, I am going to hold on to the augmentations, because that is the one thing that, since I'm not really sure that we can necessarily make a point of purchasing those, for the most part, I think we're just getting them from character, or from enemy drops, and, you know, occasionally even, I guess, the drops from the Apex missions as well. Yeah, and look at the price difference. The ultra rares are, what, 5 times more valuable than the uncommons? That's a pretty big difference, and similar. Is it the same price between uncommon and common? Yeah, it is, I guess. It's a little bit odd. So yeah, I am curious to see. This is the one. Ruzad versus Rosarad, or whatever it was called. Okay. Maybe I'm not completely insane for mixing those things up. Yeah, so like, and we saw when we were crafting in the past, in our very detailed crafting session not that long ago. Yeah, let's hold on to that, I guess. But, we saw that in some instances, there were some rare pieces of equipment that we would have liked more copies of, or even the relatively common ones, just because they're the ones that we really want to spam a whole bunch of. Things like tech power damage and tech recharge speed. Obviously, this is the biotic version of the same general thing, but that type of idea. And so we could, in the future, if we are to update our armor in particular, and I guess our weapons to a certain extent as well, then we may just be able to disassemble the ones that we currently have and create a new one with the same stuff. However, the same augmentations, that is. However, you know, there may be some other ways to optimize more efficiently based on, you know, additional augmentations that we have drop, or, you know, ones that we didn't have before, or additional copies of ones that we wanted to load up on to an even greater extent. But now, I don't know for the weapon mods what we particularly do or do not want from here. Mostly just trying to dump the really obvious things. Yeah, so, as I was saying, just doing this once was probably going to make a pretty huge difference from a money standpoint. That's almost 32,000 just from 1 week's worth of Apex missions getting turned in. And we could do a little bit more of this if we were to really go into the details, getting all the right mods, you know, ones that we have duplicates of sold here, which, you know, as I said, maybe we'll do on a later occasion. Like, okay, this is obviously a duplicate here. But, I mean, we actually do have a somewhat significant amount of items clogging our inventory right now. So, it's not as if we're about to run out of inventory space, but I'm also just gonna drop sniper rifle stuff that I don't care that much about. That's a duplicate. That's obviously a duplicate. We'll hold on to our EZO though. Okay, yeah, now we're getting all to the minerals and what have you. That's the XP helmet that we might still hold on to. So these are the other consumables, ones that we have seen pop up in the past. Okay, let's sell all this stuff. So yeah, it's over 32,000. Over 32,000 credits, which did not pop up. Okay, until we opened this screen. Okay, for a second I thought we just literally threw those things away. But, okay, so now we're pretty rich, especially seeing as how I don't think there's going to be much that we really need to buy at this stage. I mean, granted, I wasn't even looking at things we could buy here. Oh, we have the option to purchase back the things that we sold. Well, there you have it. Lots of ultra rares. It's actually going to be kind of tedious to find if there is anything buried here that we actually would have liked to have seen. For example, do you have any of those missile stuffs? We'll take the shield capacitors, I think, whenever those are available. In general, that is the one thing that we've been making a relatively concerted effort to purchase. That's about it, though. It's pretty much it. So I think we can afford a whole lot, of those shield boosters with the amount of monies we just made. So let's see. We've done Apex mission stuff. We've done the AVP status stuff. In terms of research, I mean, don't really think there's anything we need to do in the immediate future there. You know, we're what, mid-40s right now level-wise. I think the next tier of equipment becomes available at 50. Usually it seems like it comes in increments of 10. So we might not necessarily look to update our gear every single tier, with crafting at least. Maybe every 2 tiers, just so we're not constantly having to switch around. But we might make a different set if we find ourselves experimenting a little bit more with biotic powers or combat powers. I don't think that's really going to be much on the agenda on that front going forward. But biotics, we may make a biotic specific set at some points, and maybe we'll wait until we get to 50 for that. I don't know. We'll see. But as I said, for next actual quest, I think we should, or major thing for us to do, I think we actually do head back to Elaaden. I did not remember there being... Is Elaaden technically a moon? Cooperative venture between Initiative and Krogan Colony. Oh, wait, whoa! And this description updated. What is that? Hold on. I was expecting for this just to be, you know, this is the usual landing zone, and this is now the landing zone for our new outpost. I didn't remember if that was technically something. Doesn't it? Once you unlock the outpost, you do start landing in there, but what is that? Architect Husk, Elaaden. Forgotten history. Turian Ark lost but not forgotten. So that's maybe the thing that we'll do after we go into the vault. That was the primary thing that I was planning to do. Water supply, crisis response, taming a desert, then what is this? Architect Husk Elaaden. So what that's making me think of is, you know, it looks like it may take us to, although it technically shows up as if it's on Elaaden. Oh, I actually want to exit like this. Although it's showing up as if it's on Elaaden, it may, in truth, be a distinct area, kind of like when we did Liam's loyalty mission. We know about this. That's on the asteroid. Meet at Podromos. Investigate anomaly on Elaaden. This is the Ark, which, I mean, as we were saying, is perhaps going to be the thing we do after going into the vault. Oh. Okay, holding off on that. Loyalty missions. Those would definitely be another thing that would be high priority. And in some cases, we're just waiting on other stuff to happen, plot-wise, narrative-wise. In other cases, there are things on us that we ought to do to move things forward, so that's another thing we could look to prioritize relatively soon. Okay, it's not a loyalty mission then. When you'd think it would probably show up under Elaaden then. Although, investigate the vaults, yeah, we're doing that. That was at least the immediate plan. 2 scavengers discuss a recent ship crash. Might be survivors, locate crashed ship. The fact that it says crisis response made me almost think that it was going to be another mission specific to Liam. Alright. Huh. Wait, what does that require us to do? Speak with Colt Dalton? I don't remember who that is or where they are, but... what is this other mission, then? Technically something that shows up here? No. That's Kadara. That's enemies. What is this under? Something Husk related? What is this mission? I saw this, the name of this for a second, I was like, is this Contagion? What? No, I thought we were done with that. Please, no. What the heck? I don't even see what the... I don't even see anything popping up on our journal. What is that? What is that supposed to be? Oh, wait. Wait. Architect. Husk. Okay, because that's the other thing. Is we did very recently fight the most significant enemy we've ever fought thus far, and it was so odd how someone just told us in passing, like, oh, hey, by the way, there's this enemy type that we've never heard of anyone talk about before. It's kind of out there, messing with us a little bit. Do you mind just dealing with it real quick? And so it was right next to the outpost, no less. Popped on over, and it was very, very dramatic. Yet it was very odd, the enemy at least, was very significant. It was very odd how there was basically no build-up to it whatsoever. So, and it is called an architect. So is there something on the architect itself that we did not collect there? I think maybe we wait on that one and see if someone is going to tell us on a later occasion, oh, hey, by the way, there are these major enemies of this other variety that we had not previously spoken about, but you should totally fight a bunch of them. Okay, so now we do have an extra... There's the... I mean, there it is. All right, we were saying, yes, we have the 2 additional slots now, but what are we actually going to want to do with them? So the shields, far and away, option number 1, I think. Life support, sure. I mean, there aren't too many places yet, or anymore, where that's all that relevant, but maybe... I think we were considering disruptor ammo, because we have better damage against armor than we do against shields, so might as well throw this on. And then now that we know we have that Cobra missile, why not? Case the going gets tough. Oh! Then why not do that? That also makes me... I was about to say, I have no idea who we have with us right now, but hopefully it's a decent group. The other thing I was going to say is I did not mean to start this. I meant to back out and change something else, as is almost always the case whenever I jump in by pressing the back button. But there's one other thing that we may consider doing here. That is really disorienting and also really bright. So I thought that was the ground at first. It's like, why are you bringing us in on this angle? This may be the first time that we're landing at the outpost rather than the usual starting spot. I think so. The other thing that I was thinking is that just based on the ease with which we've been fighting enemies, now that we've made such substantial upgrades to our equipment, I mean, we're like blinking, and mid-level enemies are dying in a fraction of a second. So I think maybe, oh, that might have something to do with it. What? Okay, that definitely might have something to do with it. Okay, good thing that we double-checked that. That might explain a lot. I was pretty sure that we had changed that back. Didn't we? Alright, now I don't know how much of a factor our gear was, because apparently that may have been a larger factor than... I don't... Okay. Alright. Yeah. I was gonna say we should probably increase the difficulty, because we've been destroying enemies really quickly. Then it turned out we were on narrative difficulty. So that maybe is the reason for that. But okay, we'll see how much of a difference the improved gear is now making, now that it is actually more of a controlled experiment. So what I would like to do, though, is I would like to jump into the vault, which is, what is that? Oh, right, the hidden caches. Okay, at least it does give us the icon for them. Okay, so it's not like they're complete mysteries. Oh, they're everywhere. Like, everywhere. Not just at the outposts themselves, but like, I mean, I guess that's kind of at or rather at forward stations. That's kind of at a forward station. That one very much is not. So yeah, as expected. It's the kind of thing that would have been much more useful very early on when we were first exploring these areas, because then we wouldn't have to go out of our way to do this stuff. And I still don't think we really will, but unless it's absolutely amazing what they drop in. I don't know what they drop. But that's all on the side, because the primary thing that we are looking to do here is, let's activate the quest. Make this a little bit easier. Is this. We've activated the monoliths, yes. However, we've not actually gone into the vault itself, which I thought was pretty centrally located and easy to get to. Am I wrong in thinking that? Yeah, kinda. Or well, it is kinda easy to get to and centrally located. I was not wrong. So, sure, we'll fast travel this forward station. We'll see what happens at this hidden cache. We'll see how good it is, maybe. It's technically in the opposite direction, but so be it. I do like the looks of the ship. Like, our ship specifically? Like, we haven't really changed our... Is there any way you can change the Tempest itself? I mean, Nomad. We're using the blood pack colors.
Temperature levels are climbing, Pathfinder.
It's like these are pretty much all going to be places that we've already been to, I imagine. What is the deal with the flashing lights? Oh, basically. What? Oh, is this the vault? Oh, okay, well, this is the vault. That's why this is not hidden cache. I thought this was the hidden cache. I was like, this is a pretty dramatic hidden cache. Maybe we should have done these things earlier, because this looks pretty significant. You know, if every hidden cache is going to give us advanced remnant technology, then maybe that should have been something we prioritized. But no, that's the vault. That's the vault. Change the color scheme of the Tempest as well? I don't know if I have done that. Or at least I don't remember doing that, so it might just be the default. We definitely did for the Nomad, for sure. I don't remember if we changed the Tempest at all. So I would love to take credit for it, but I'm not sure it's deserved. Okay, so now we're theoretically in the general area. And it looks like they're going to be in a bunch of remote locations. Which is the kind of place is where we were deliberately going before. Oh.
Reading a normal temperature range,
Okay.
Pathfinder.
You're just saying that. Not sure if it is in there, which is the place where we went for one of the other quests, or if it is up above. So at least from looking at the mini-map, I was under the impression that it was going to be up above, but I'm now doubting that since there's also that cave system over there. Okay, you just stay right there, Nomad. So, as everyone knows, we are generally more efficient climbing up steep inclines on foot rather than using our all-terrain vehicle because reasons. He says, despite the fact that he's not really having much of any success on foot. It's still probably higher than we would have gotten in the Nomad, but hold on. Let's see if we can go slightly different angle. Yeah, no, you know what? Getting the impression this is not the way that we are supposed to do this, and we should probably work smarter rather than working harder. Let's try going up, see if we can go up. If not, we'll go down in that cave-ish system over there and see if that's where it is. Like, if we look around this way, does that make any difference whatsoever? Oh, it might. It actually might. That looks like that's climbable on foot. Yeah, and our map definitely over here is saying that it's up higher. So we can surely make it up. Somewhere over here, right? Right? That might be something we can go up with the Nomad, to be honest with you. It has little tread marks. Just power it up. Okay. Here? Question mark! Back it up. Back it up. Everything is fine. Back it up. Fun fact, reverse is stronger than any of the drive gears. There, it's also over there. Okay, so how? Wait, what? Oh, I saw this from this angle. This little spot here looked like a wheel, and that over there looked like the front windshield of a truck. I was like, is it just a little truck stuck in the ground? That all of our loot is hidden in little toy trucks? Okay, how significant is... Oh. Okay. Because if these are no big deal, or they're relatively minor, then perhaps there is something to be said for just completely ignoring them altogether, because at this point, as we just said, we are already getting a very consistent and significant source of good loot from all of our high-level Apex missions. Just basically meeting all of our needs and more. But the fact that those gave us at least some ultra-rare stuffs... I mean, granted, Apex missions do that too. At least if we're doing the high-level ones, the gold ones. But, like, augmentation... Again, augmentations, I think, are really the only real thing that makes a huge difference to us long-term now, because anything else we can just craft the various raw materials that we've collected at this point, or purchase. Since we don't have much that we need to purchase right now, we may not be super rich, but we've basically spent credits on almost nothing at this stage, so we can be aggressive with what credits we do have, and that's probably going to be the case for the foreseeable future as well. So, you know, if hunting down those now I'm forgetting the hidden caches, I think is the way that they refer to them. If hunting all those down is going to give us access to some more powerful augmentations, maybe it's worth doing that a little bit. Still feels like that'd be a little bit tedious at this stage, given how we've been to most other places. Yeah, we could fast travel with all of the forward stations that we've gotten, so maybe it's not terrible, but it's not like they're right next to the forward station. It's not like quite literally pop out of the Nomad as soon as we fast travel, and then it's immediately ready to go. But now we're into the Elaaden Vault.
Okay, Remnant Vault. Let's get this place up and running.
So, what, it's mostly heat, which is the primary issue on Elaaden. This sounds particularly violent. Okay, so who did we bring with us? Because, as I said, I accidentally initiated this trip when I intended to just leave to look at a difficulty or something like that. Also, we've not double check to see how much of a difference difficulty is actually going to make now that apparently we have corrected ourselves from being multiple difficulties too low. I was thinking that we were making hardcore an absolute cakewalk, and I was about to bump it up to insanity. Not gonna do that until we've at least spent a little more time back on hardcore and truly seen how much of a difference our gear upgrades are making. Might still bump it up, but I mean, there's largely going to be.
We turn the power on.
You'll need to locate the console to activate the purification field, Pathfinder.
It's largely going to be a response to just how easy things had become so rapidly, but you know, again, the change in at this point, what have we have now bumped it up like 4 difficulties or something like that. So
There must be a trick to this. Let's give it a try.
Okay, hold on. This is 1. It's also S1. Okay, now it's not based on the number of windmills that it has. Any difference in the... Oh, hold on. The way in which they have the lines drawn here. I mean, this one is the lowest. As is that. Those are both considerably lower. This is possibly the highest over here. Does that mean we do that one first? Does it even matter? I have no idea. I have no idea. We will try. Okay. Sure. Oh, now it's the same color as these guys. I feel like that means these are deactivated. I think we want them all to be... Right? Oh. What did you say? Some combination is gonna light all these things up. It's gonna be another one of the annoying puzzles that I didn't really want to sign up for. So yeah, basically just get them all bright. And I don't necessarily know what the best way to do that is, besides just trial and error. Is there the little dots at the top? No. Hold on. Is there anything I can glean from looking very closely at these icons? Like this one? Oh, they sort of have an aspect that is separated out from the core circle. I don't know if that's of any significance at all. I really don't know. I mean, I assume in general you're just clicking on the one that is not currently bright. And eventually that's going to work out for you. At the moment it's not working out for us, but I'm assuming that eventually that is going to work out for us. Hopefully. Otherwise we could be here for a while. That's kind of been, kind of been the case of a lot of the vaults, and it's one of the reasons why I was not so keen on jumping straight into the vaults last time around after doing a lot of stuff on Elaaden, because in general, I would say the vaults have... Is that all of them? In general, no, not the middle one. In general, I would say the vaults have been of a low light thus far. Hold on. I think I now get it. After paying a little bit closer attention. Activating one of them deactivates the ones that are next to it, I think, on either side of it. So, like, activating this would deactivate you and deactivate you, or vice versa. Hold on, let me test that theory more. So I'm expecting ones on either side to deactivate. You're deactivated. You're deactivated. Okay, that's the way that it works. I'm fairly certain now. As for how we make us succeed in that case, I think that means we want to have the 3 in the middle deactivated simultaneously. We hit the middle one, all 3 get activated in here, and then we're through. How do we make that happen? I didn't think that far ahead. Didn't quite think that far ahead. Let's see. So now we have all 3 in the middle activated, but we don't want that. This is going to deactivate everything, which I'm assuming is the opposite of what we're trying to do, but that also might mean that we're close? Hold on. So if we do this, this gets 1, 2, 3. Then we do... Oh, no, we can still make it work from here, I think. We do this. I think this works. So activate these 3, and then we do the one on the far end here. I assume that it just ignores the fact that there's nothing over here and it doesn't compensate for that by, you know, activating the one on the end or something like that. So I think this will do it. Did that work? It did deactivate the one on the end. That's devious. That is extremely devious. I did not like that. That was mean. That makes it harder. Or at least requires a little more to make it happen. And again, it's, you know, I'm gonna voice my displeasure with the vaults in the past. In general, to speak broadly about them, I think it just goes way too far into the whole puzzle theme, when that's not what, at least certainly not what I was signing up for when I wanted to play Andromeda, and I obviously can't speak for other people on that topic, but I would imagine it's probably, at least maybe, similar case for others as well. It's like, this is, I mean, it goes without saying, this is getting pretty tedious. At this point, I do know, oh, okay, now I think we're about to get it. This is what I was looking for. This one's activated all the way on one side, this one's activated all the way on this side, we activate the one in the middle, and everything will be good to go. Just make sure that I'm activating the correct one. Like, I knew what I wanted to do, and even with that being said, it still took an extremely long time. Maybe that's at least somewhat on me, but it's just a pain. Just let us through, man. Obviously, did see some enemies here.
That console will activate the vault, Pathfinder.
So soon?
To stop the reactor and initiate the purification field.
Something about purification field? I will
Here
admit
they
that
come.
I did not catch that. Yeah, a little bit of XP. Sure. Yeah, I mean, that would surprise me a lot if the vault was this short, right? Sounded like Sam was starting to say that this is, you know, something that, yes, you need to activate, and it does activate the vault, yes, but I mean, you'd think that'd be the primary thing, but there's, I guess, apparently something else to it. Actually, let's check our map. So we, what, got in here? I've been into these two rooms. This is where we currently are. Surely, yeah, okay, we need to end up eventually going over there. So this, it's not as if this one's gonna activate the timer and we're gonna rush back out or anything like that. It'd be way too soon for that, right? I would assume. Also, it is a little bit odd that there's one of these super trees inside like this. We cannot activate you. We need to go into the depths of hell to activate you. Oh, we can do that already. Thought we were gonna have to do something. I thought we had to activate the console over there in order to get you, but maybe it's the other way around. It's gonna deactivate the shield, I imagine. Now that's,
They didn't like that.
oh, gives us a
Pathfinder,
kind of,
this may affect your escape from the purification field.
okay, lovely. There we go. So now we would take damage if we were to go through these things, although it did pop up a little more cover of other varieties. Yeah, so like basically these things like heat inducer, now that one in particular is something that we're looking for, although high value stuff there is not bad, I suppose. But those augmentations, more generally, are the things that we're looking for. So you say this might affect our escape route through the purification field. I'm gonna assume we should keep this active, and that there will be other ones that, in combination with one another, allow us to do things that we would not otherwise be able to do. Which is
It's the
generally
fun, isn't it?
oh,
The unknown.
generally that's been one of the other cumbersome things. I mean, it's kind of the whole issue with the consoles that we were seeing in the... Ooh, really hoping you could focus on our teammates for a second there. That's kind of the whole issue with the consoles that we saw in the first room as well, was... I mean, yes, we know where we want to go. We have a sense as to what we want to do to make that happen, but it's just so much back and forth, so much trial and error to activate the right stuff to make those things happen.
Converge here. I will highlight the ones you need.
Oh.
Stay alert. There'll be more.
Okay. Several things converge here, you say. What can we, like, create a bridge over to this side and bridge through here, I imagine, as well, probably? Although, this rate, we'd be kind of mainlining it through. I imagine we'd have to do a little more back and forth before making this happen. And I'm going to get disoriented very quickly. So I'm gonna activate things in general under the assumption that the more stuff we activate, the better. That should mean that we can make it over there to this side now, and that side is not the primary area that we need to get to, but it is a spot that we've not yet visited, so presumably there is something good here. And we might need to get there to... Oh, hold on. What if we do this? Might need to get there. In order to unlock stuff to get to the main location later. Also, really sounded like Drac was saying there were enemies spawning, but apparently not. Is there any difference between the sides? Is that a console? I can't tell what that is. It's almost the shape of a console, but it seems like not quite. Get up here? Yes, we can. I mean, this one is. So yeah. Yeah, that one definitely is as well. Okay, so... I mean, is this... Watch this one deactivate the platforms that we just raised, including the one that we are currently standing on, and sends us falling into this abyss. I wouldn't rule it out. All I'm saying is I wouldn't rule it out. Okay. Okay, does something super special happen in the middle here once we activate all the lights that are leading up to this? That means this console and probably some other consoles on the far side, possibly even the... Oh, it might just be deactivating the ones that are currently active here. Okay, so in that case it is the back and forth that we expected. Presumably there is a reason to actually go over here though, because this is a full-blown section. We will double back to... Oh, well this is not open at the moment. So there's that. But, okay. Ooh, can we... I certainly hope we can get back. It's probably a little easier if we had just, doubled back straight over there. Can we make that? So I want to activate this, and maybe that'll... Yeah, okay, let's give it a shot. I probably should have given that a running start. Would have been preferable, I imagine. Not that it mattered. It's not damaging us? Usually we take damage to our health when we do that. Okay, I mean, technically speaking, we could continue to try. It feels like it's extremely close, and that we could, with a little more luck and slightly better timing, make that happen, but could also just be that we're supposed to head back this way instead. Is this slightly closer? I mean, that's definitely a lot more feasible. So then, oh, also let's scan you. Nice. Okay. So we definitely want to go here. Excuse me, Drac. You almost made me fall. Want to go up here? Want to activate you? Then I think we need to double back to deactivate the consoles that created these guys, because that's gonna... Me or was Drac just casually walking on air for a second there? What is Drac doing? I guess I've never really paid that close attention to how our squad mates are platforming in the past. But maybe it is worth keeping a closer eye on them, after all. Alright, but now, yes, I think we double back here. And I was not sure if we needed to dash in addition on that. I occasion or not. Apparently we did not want to do that? What the heck? Run, but no dash is the answer. Did we get this one, or is this a different one? That is the same one that we just scanned. Okay. So now we get up here. Now we deactivate the ones that our squad mates are currently standing on, or at least PB is. PB, you are so close. Okay, then we deactivate this one as well, and then we theoretically have all the lights that should be active here, which gives us a different console on that platform, and that's gonna be the one that opens that door. That's my guess, at least. Not gonna lie, the fact that the lights stopped showing up as soon as we started jumping over here really made me think that this was going to start collapsing as soon as we set foot on it. So that was a little concerning. And now we can go in here. Now, what the significance of this specific spot is, that is a different question, but it does seem like it is a bit of a bonus area, perhaps. Are there enemies? I mean, there's at least one. That's a turret. That do be a turret, though. Okay, the damage is definitely way less than it was. Wow. Definitely way less damage than when we were on the lower difficulty. That should probably go without saying, I suppose. Is that turn is dead? Okay. But to what extent was a question that we were asking ourselves. Okay, I would like for you guys not to do that, please. That is one of the only times we've gotten a melee kill, and by one of the only times, I mean possibly just the second. Okay, wasn't there, is there a console soon after getting in here? No? Okay. Thought there was. Apparently I'm making that up. That's just an enemigo. As is that, okay. Here's a console. Okay, what is this? No idea what this is gonna do. But presumably we wanna push the button. Yeah, I still have no idea what that did. Ever so slightly changed the stuff that's popping up here. Huh. But maybe it changed other things elsewhere. And then there's this console, which is showing connections to distant places that we've not yet been to. In fact, okay, this is where the main section is. The main console that we're trying to activate. So I wonder if it was actually required that we do this. I had previously thought this was just a bonus area of sorts, but maybe not? Huh. And this looks like our way back. I don't think we can make that jump. That is this target we're trying to get to, but yeah, so I'm guessing that one of those consoles was necessary to unlock something that we were going to need. It was just one of several consoles necessary to unlock something we were going to need to have access to later on.
Blocked.
There may be a console nearby.
Okay, so yeah, this would have been the direct approach, but that's why we had to go the other way. We just kind of happened to go straight to the spot where we were actually needed.
There may be a console nearby.
Go. It's also blocked, but this is not the direction we came from, is it? We came from over here. So this is kind of, sort of, in the same direction we came from, but it is lower down, and I don't know what to make of that. Presumably, there is something that we could do. I actually don't... There's a chance that we were able to traverse from that spot over across. I didn't really see the pathway that was going to make it happen. I think we only got a few minor components of it. But, yeah, why don't we try going to this side now? So we've not done this at all yet, and I think we can get down onto that. I don't think we need to jump it from here. It's a little bit of a pathway down. Scannables? There's a scannable the opposite side. I think you have the right idea, Drac. Yeah, this is much more straightforward then. Okay, don't overjump it though.
Remnant. We can lay low or take them on.
I mean... we're gonna take him on, but... and how much is stealth really an option? We have a cloak with a very long duration. Also, our squad mates are definitely going to attack the enemies anyway, so it's not like we really have a choice in the matter. Okay, I'm just going to assume we want to activate this. That did a lot. It is connected to a lot of things. Not sure that we had this pathway available to us before, but now theoretically that is a thing that I guess we can do. We don't have this range, do we? So I think our range got somewhat significantly... whoa, what the heck? Reduced when we... oh! Turn our Black Widow to laser beam. May not have wanted to engage you from this far, but... wait, if I could actually hit you. Aim-wise, that hit us through the console. I'm personally offended. Make this happen. We're gonna run out of ammo. Oh, we should be fine. We should be fine. We'll be okay. We also, oh yeah, I think we theoretically have the penetration on this weapon. Not actually sure if, since we turned it into laser beam, if that is still functional, but having penetration, I imagine, makes it so that those, what is it, nullifiers? Is that the name of the enemy that just was? The guys that put up the shields like that? Oh, that's not great. You know, does it basically just shoot through their shields? It also really looked like you were shooting through that wall, which I do not appreciate. Hello. What? Excuse me, I'm cloaked. There's no way you can see me. I'm downright invisible. Now we're getting a bunch of all the stuff that we want. Okay, consumables. And, okay, again, that specific augmentation, no. But augmentations more generally speaking, yes. Ooh. Hello. Okay. We want you. I assume. Oh yeah, look, this connects all the way back there.
We should be able to get to the purification console.
Oh, nice. Okay, but I imagine there's still more things for us to do on this side, generally speaking. So we've only relatively recently got here. Okay, I totally tried to scan this before from the other angle, but you apparently needed me to come from this angle, so, okay. Should give us shields, right? Oh. Hello. Description key. Now, we are Sudoku masters, we don't need that. How much large? This section in general is very large. So apparently we've already created enough of a pathway here to make this work. That's what it seemed like. But why not if we see what else we can do here?
Hack the turret, pathfinder.
What? I heard turret. And hack the turret? We don't have any hacking skills? Oh, that's unfortunate timing. Who is left? These guys. I really thought that was going to be enough to kill you. It was not. that was very optimistic, hoping that our theoretical armor penetration was going to be enough to break through that. It's definitely not going to be the case. And obviously there's more experience to be had from fighting more enemies, generally speaking. There's another reason to proceed the more violent of routes. Okay. Anything else of interest? That was one of these sides. What if we go down on this end? Surely there must be some reason to go on this side. Right? Or up there? That might be this where we were previously. Can we hop over this? I probably should have done a little bit more. I also just thought Drac was an enemy. Well, I should have done a little bit more to scout before I jumped. Ah, see, look, there's a console here.
Bet we can reach that if we poke around.
That works.
Reach. What exactly? Okay, there is first I just saw this and didn't see the other things leading up to it, and I thought, well, I mean, that's nice, but it's not enough in and of itself. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Drac, if you could just, like, chill for a second here. While we platform. These are very small. These sections we're supposed to jump up onto, especially because... Where do we go from here? I'm pretty sure we cannot make... Can we make that jump? No, we'd have to make that. Can we make that jump? I thought this was supposed to be an in-between. So that's sort of, you jump for this on an angle such that if you don't have enough height, you come crashing down and at least land on that as your backup plan. That's how I'm going to choose to interpret that. That definitely is not high enough. That definitely is confirmed not high enough. Sounds like an enemy, but I don't see an enemy. This does still seem very strange. Like, you'd think we'd have another piece here to facilitate this platforming section, and maybe we aren't actually supposed to do this yet. I kinda was thinking, while we were in the area, why not give it a shot, but that I think is too high. That one's slightly to the left. It's ever so slightly lower, to the point where we can climb it. That I don't know. Also, that's definitely too high. I mean, these are just about the same. That, I'm pretty sure neither of those are reachable. So, does that mean we need to double back? And in which case, how the heck do we get back when both of our squad mates are blocking us entirely?
Got it.
Not expect to make that. Yeah, honestly, I think we might prefer to be here. Is this just supposed to be a way back to jump here? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I think we continue on this way and see if there's anything else that will make it easier still for us to get over there. Because I assume we want to get up onto this, and then can we get up there? I don't even know what the end goal is, really. Is there... That isn't loot, is it? No? Okay. Not a container. Okay. So yeah, let's see if there are any other consoles along this end, further in this direction, that might make it easier still to do platforming there, or is this entirely independent, this area? This goes quite a distance in this direction. Is that the platform we started off on? No. It's not just as if we're below the platform we started on. This is a different one entirely.
Heads up! Big guys ahead!
Where? Oh,
Get ready to fight!
these big guys. Now I see what you're referring to. I'd like to take cover here. Oh, that's a super big guy. The likes of which we had serious trouble with in the past. It is called a destroyer. Okay. So, this is a good test. Good test to see just how effective we can be with different squad mates against an enemy type that caused us a lot of trouble before. In large part because that ability kept on killing our squad mates. Oh. Just a lot of damage to his shield, though. I mean, so basically we had a bunch of trouble breaking through this type of enemy's shields previously, to the point where we couldn't kill it. And then, in large part for that reason, we went back and were very aggressive with crafting much stronger armor, stuff that would give us things like this. Power damage bonus to armor, so this is actually a really good augmentation for us. And tech damage and what have you. So, now that we've done that, we have different squad mates this time compared to the last time we fought one of those enemies, and I do think that probably made a pretty significant difference as well. But, it's a good sign. I mean, we didn't immediately fry that guy, but it was way, way easier than the previous one. I mean, we quite literally just could not, through any means, destroy the previous one of those guys that we tried to fight without lowering the difficulty. Is there anything up there? No, that's probably inaccessible. Okay, so I'm still just kind of wandering whatever direction feels like the whatever one we happen to be going in. So this would take us back toward the area where we started. I mean, it looks like it is possible to get up there. Maybe not quite from this angle, but maybe that's just supposed to be a wall, not actually a platform you can climb up onto. So this. Oh.
There must be a trick to this. Let's give it a try.
Okay. So that, I don't believe, was something we could do before, despite the fact that I believe we were here previously. So it's sort of the hub room. However, we've not been to this spot yet. So again, it's kind of a we went around over, what, did we go there? I actually don't remember if we went there. We went around here, and then that made some things pop up that made it easier for us to access this area. Then did some stuff here, which I think made it completely possible for us to get over to this important spot for the main aspect we're trying to achieve here. But then we went up and around through here and back to this section where I thought we were before, unless we're technically at a higher elevation than we were previously, but I don't know that that's true. Now we can access this thing, which, and it looks like the room we were in before, except that room had a big tree here, and this one does not have a tree. So maybe this is just a similarly shaped room, albeit one that is one floor higher up. I don't know. So I was gonna say, you know, if this is the room we were in before, then maybe we wait to activate all this stuff, but no, I think we do it while we're here. So Ryder's like, there must be some way to do this. Maybe we just activate stuff. Well, I mean, is it gonna be, I was gonna say just activate stuff randomly and see what happens. Is it gonna be like the one that we had previously? In which case, you know, activating one also activates all the adjacent ones? Or deactivates adjacent ones?
Objects will have indicators, Pathfinder. They may be of some help.
What? You have one windmill. You also have one windmill. And one electro ball thing. One windmill, no electro ball. One windmill, one electro ball. One windmill, one electro ball. So the only one that's different is you. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess that's a good thing. Now you no longer have the electro ball. You do. So I assume that means it's you that we do next. Okay, I think we're onto something here. You still have the electro ball. You still have the electro ball, so it's probably you. Yep, no electro ball. Okay, I think I might have just seen the electro ball thing drop down. Yep, so now it's you. So I don't think this is about to activate the entire vault. I think this is something different, but again, all the back and forth, jumping around one area to the next, it's not always clear what is unlocking what is affecting what. So I don't exactly know what this is going to do. Presumably, something up there. With that console in the center section. It's going to allow us to go through this door that was previously
Pathfinder,
inaccessible.
that energy barrier will lift when you activate the purification field.
Okay, so yeah, when we activate the primary thing that we're trying to activate, we'll be able to go through here. So this is basically our exit. Did we just proactively free up our exit? Is that basically what we did? Also, what does this one do? Oh. I mean, this might be the hold on.
Glad for the help.
Oh, did that cause enemies to spawn? I tried to just cancel that. I don't know if technically counted as failing and spawning an enemy. So I thought I saw a remnant marker for a second. I mean, it doesn't show that we're on top of the main thing. So I assume that we can activate this and not have to worry about potentially missing out on the most important aspect of this entire vault, but we'll see. Alright, so Sudoku it is. This is probably the best place to, well, obviously don't do that. I just want you to go away. This is probably the best place to start, because we have 3 out of 5. And we know, yeah, and we know it can't be this. So you must be that, and we know it can't be, or now we know that this must be, well, not you, but we already had you. So that means it must be you. Okay, good. Now we know there are only 2 possible things that we can have left in this spot. We can't put, you're one of the ones that's missing, but we can't put you here, so this must be you. And that means there's only one thing left that we do not have in this box, and it's you. Okay, so that one's all set. Then this looks like it might be the next best thing for us to go for. So it's definitely not going to be the shieldy one. Can't be you. It could potentially be you. Yeah, I don't know. This one feels like this is gonna end up being more difficult. Let's see. This could be you. Oh yeah, it's one of the ones we need for this one, but we know for a fact we can't put it here, so that's a little bit encouraging. That would suggest, I mean, this just feels like it's not absolutely conclusive, the results that we've gotten here. Like, this works right now, but I'm not necessarily sure that that's definitively going to hold for the remainder of this puzzle. Like now, no, not you. Not you. You are the only one we have left. Okay, and that means a Y in each row thus far, so that seems decent. Then there are 2 more we can put here. And again, it's just like, yeah? Do we have a definitive answer? Which one could go here, or are we just gonna roll with something for the time being and hope that it happens to stick? Definitely can't be you. It might be you. Otherwise, what else could it be? Wait, it can't be you. This is the other one that it could be. It's like or is that the one that we were just looking at before? I don't know. This one potentially works. Let's stick with that for the time being. So then that means the other possible one would have to go in here, which would be the Y. Oh, and we can't put the Y there. Or we can't put it here because we already have one there. All right, I mean, that does seem encouraging. It is looking fairly consistent in that case. And here, this one, we have decent information. We know it can't be that. Do we have a definitive answer? Can't be that. Might be this. Can't be that. It could be that. So that's tricky. Could be the shieldy dude. It could be... I mean, they're both kind of shieldy dudes. So, I mean, I guess we just make an executive decision right now, and then we hope that it holds up. What's up, Gutter Tier God? Yeah, it's more Space Sudoku. I mean, at this point, I think we've also accumulated enough of the Remnant keys, because we haven't used any yet. Oh, but we can't override this with a Remnant decryption key? We only have 2? Is that little icon in the bottom right corner of the Sudoku? I mean, we only have 2? Because we haven't used any thus far. And so I was pretty sure we had a lot more than that. But also, it apparently says that we can't use it here, so, don't know what to make of that. But, okay, so this is potentially one outcome. Was this the other one? I think that was... Oh, no. Definitely not. Definitely not. So we'll just put there... Is this the other shieldy dude? Okay, so like this, who knows which one is technically supposed to be where? And that means there should only be one remaining for this, and it should be you, and at the moment, that looks like that works. Which means that... Oh, no, it doesn't. Obviously not. It can't be you, because that's there. What is left? What is left? Can't be this. Can't be this, because we have you here. Can't be that, because we have you there. What is left in this shape? Okay, just look at this shape specifically. It has to be this. But we can't put this here. So that means this has... Oh, shoot. Okay, this has to be... We need to swap these around. This is what I mean. The answers we had before were not definitive. We have to do this. Which means this needs to change. Now you... Did we have a definitive answer there before? Can't be that. Can't be that. Can't be that. Can't be that. Unless we switch you as well. Oh, God. This is what I mean. The potential domino effects of having to change one thing are catastrophic. Can't be that. Oh, no. Oh, no. So I don't necessarily think that it was stuff that was wrong before. It was just 50-50 chances of, it might be this, it might be the other thing. We're going to go with one of them and hope that it works and doesn't break everything later on. And, well, it looks like some things did, in fact, break everything later on. Unless we made an obvious mistake elsewhere very early, and that has now triggered these domino effects. Vertical, or rather, horizontally, that looks fine, I think. Vertically, this looks fine. It's just, yeah, I think it's those 50-50s. We made a guess as to which one we wanted, and turns out that they did not happen to be the one that we should have picked. So that's painful, because I'm not exactly someone who, despite the jokes we made about suddenly becoming a Space Sudoku master, I'm not someone who has ever done a Sudoku willingly. I think I might have had one as a homework assignment in like 5th grade once, but that was a while ago. And so I don't exactly have much in the way of experience or interest in in-depth Sudokus. So I think we have to... Do we have to fix this and that is a domino effect elsewhere? Was like, how far back does the error go? Because it seems like it's pretty far. Which is just extremely frustrating, because I don't actually want to be spending a bunch of time and brain power doing Sudoku. Because that's not what I signed up to play Mass Effect Andromeda to do, right? Can we... No, we can't do that because you have a Y there, but then can we remove this Y and replace it with the other thing that we'd be missing here, which would be what? It would be EU. That might work. So that's not locked in. We don't have anything else in this row that's this shape. Nothing horizontally that's that. Let's roll with this and see if that changes things. So now, what does that do for you? Are you... I think you're fine now? Which means... this, and now my brain is just glossing over. My like, eyes are getting foggy. I'm like, these all look the same now. Which ones do we need to revisit and see if we need to make alterations? Like, is everything suddenly fine now? Oh. It looks better at the moment. Is it... have we fixed all the issues that we were running into? We might have? Alright, let's proceed, and then we'll see, you know, if something does break going forward, then we hope that it's just a straightforward fix at that point. Because now we have 4 out of 5 here. So it's not that, it's not that. It should be this, which works horizontally and vertically at the moment, although we don't have a lot of information on the vertical right now. Then... guess we try these two. So, for this one, so in general, it can be... we do need one of these, and if this is correct, then we can't put this here, which means we need that shape in the middle. Does that check out? We have one of you here, 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 which means... it's gonna break this shape, isn't it? It's not gonna work. Oh no, it already has one. No, we're fine. I take that back. I was like, well, we can't put the... we need one of these shapes in... one of these symbols in this group of 5, and we can't put it here because it's already there. So where do we put it then? Lids, it's already there. You don't need to put it there. That's just an example of the kind of pain this is causing me right now. Okay, so now that means it's not this, it's not this, it can't be that. Yeah, and we don't need that. What do we need vertically? Not that. We need the shield, don't we? That is the missing shape. It works horizontally. Okay, that seems to check out. Then that means we've one shape left in the middle 5, which would be you. You at the moment work horizontally and vertically. Okay, that's promising. So now it's just finishing this out. And there's one more spot here. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. It should be you. Vertically, fine. Horizontally, fine. We have one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. Yeah. That looks like that works. Then, no, it's not that. It is not that, because we have you right there. As we previously established, it's not this. It does need to be the Y, doesn't it? Yeah, because we have Y in every other section. Okay. And that works vertically, horizontally. Then that means, I think this is the correct one here. Works vertically, works horizontally. Nothing else in this shape. I think this is it. But I would have said I have very little, if any, confidence in it. The fact that it didn't seemingly, obviously break at the end there gives me a faint glimmer of hope. Oh, okay, now what does this do? Because I have no idea.
That did it. Nice going.
Oh, it gave us a couple of extra skill points, and also a level up, which I think actually means we have a bunch of extra skill points now. Like 12, namely. Okay, I mean, we'll take it. I guess we'll take it. You know, actually, I'm surprised that we can save now. Let's save now. In part just because it's been a while since we last saved, but more importantly because if I have to do that again, my brain will just completely melt. That definitely feels like that was the most difficult one that we've had thus far. I mean, the very first time we had the Sudokus with those shapes of the blocks was tricky just because we hadn't seen that before, but I think in terms of just raw difficulty, regardless of how much experience you do or do not have, I think that's definitely the most challenging one we've had thus far. Then, as for what we're looking to spend the skill points on, I think it's probably biotic stuff here with Nova and Barrier. Just want to check if there's anything else we were working toward. I should recall. I mean, we might spend a little bit more on the gun passives. And actually, what do we have here? Weapon loadout side, size and weight capacity, ammo, power cell capacities, reach and delay reduction in cover. Oh. That's actually amazing. Both of those are amazing. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that would be nice too. And technically speaking, as we are not currently actively using the biotic skills, whereas the combat skills we're just looking for are passive, you could make a decent case that we should go for the combat stuff next, technically speaking, although the reason why we are not currently using the biotic skills is because we've not yet maxed out the biotic skills, so that's kind of a catch-22. So, I mean, we have 12 points, which I guess is enough to fully upgrade 2 powers if they are just missing their last upgrade, which does work well for what we're trying to do on the biotic side. For the text, or rather for the combat side, yeah, we need both the level 5 and the level 6. Alright, I know, as we just established, perhaps it is technically speaking a little more valuable to do the passive stuff before the active stuff, but given how the numbers just line up well, I think we go for the biotic stuff here, and then we can write it off and say that it's good to go whenever we're ready to make the switch, whenever we want to make the switch. So for Nova, for this one, I mean, usually, yes, damage is great, and in this case, the priming is also really nice. This does not detonate automatically, does it? Just does not have any combo interactions unless and until you do this. It would be nice, but realistically, the thing that makes Nova so special, so unique, is this. The Nova has no recharge time, but consumes shields when used. Very risky, because it removes all of your shields, but it allows you to circumvent your cooldown when you do this. So basically you can charge and then immediately Nova, or Nova and then immediately charge. At least in Mass Effect 3, that's sort of the classic combo for Vanguards. So that's, I think, what we're looking for here. We were looking a little bit at some passive abilities that could reduce the shield / whatever cost of various abilities, and this was the primary thing that I was having in mind when we did that. Obviously, we've not yet used this, but with that in mind, that was the intention of taking some of that stuff, so maybe got a little ahead of ourselves there, but that is the plan. And yes, combining it with charge, that's why I've been speccing into charge. People who have played Mass Effect 3 Vanguards probably understood as soon as we started speccing both of those that was the intention, but yes, to confirm, it is in fact what we have in mind. That's also the reason why getting shields back on Biotic Kill 10% could be really helpful for us, because basically, if you have shields, you can Nova. If you don't have shields, you can't Nova. It is functionally the same thing as your cooldown. It's just shields, yes, no, is the only question you need to ask. So being able to restore shields automatically, assuming that you get kills with Nova, means you could theoretically non-stop Nova. Now granted, that's the case in Mass Effect 3. Obviously we've not yet used Nova at all in Mass Effect Andromeda. Basically, Mass Effect 3, regardless of as long as you have some shields, you will consume all of whatever shields you have remaining and execute the Nova, and then you can't Nova again until you get at least some shields back. Even though the cost is technically 100%, you could have 10% shields, you're just going to use all of those shields. You can still Nova when you have 10% shields, you're going to use them all again, though. Whereas I'm not sure if that's the case in Andromeda. Basically, my point is, right now it costs 100% shields, so we say we're on full shields, we Nova, we lose all of our shields, can't Nova again until we get 100% shields back? Or can we do it slightly sooner if we're only at, any non-zero number? Or, more importantly, if we have some way to reduce the shield cost of this ability, so that rather than actually spending 100% shields, we're spending 98% shields, can we Nova again with just 2 shields remaining, and basically do 2 Novas in a row? Or, even if we don't have that, if by spending all of our shields with 1 Nova, and getting a tiny bit of shields back with at least getting 1 kill. As long as we get 1 kill with Nova, then we get 10% shields back. Does that immediately allow us to Nova again? Because if so, then that is just a great way to sustain multiple Novas, which is, generally speaking, I think something that we'd be interested in being able to do. Otherwise, so that I think is the primary use case for this one, which is why in the past I was saying this intrigues me, specifically with Nova. Outside of Nova, this I think is fantastic, of course. The one downside is obviously getting shields fully restored on low health, amazing. On the other hand, especially on higher difficulties, I think I might have said this once before, you know, if 20% health is the threshold, more often than not, you're gonna die before you, you're gonna be at, when we don't have shields, we might be getting one shot from some, at least powerful enemies. Or, you know, if against mid to even low level enemies, if we're at 50%, 40%, 30% health, then they can probably just one-shot us, completely circumvent. I assume that completely circumvents the shield restoration. It's only, like, if we get dropped to exactly 20% health, 19% health, 18% health, anything that is between 0 and 20, inclusive. Or inclusive on the 20, not inclusive on the 0. If we get one shot, then I assume that doesn't just save us. So basically, lower difficulties is going to keep you alive almost without fail, whereas higher difficulties where enemies can deal more than 20% health damage to you in one hit, much less reliable. So I think we still do this. Or at least, technically I'd like to test out Nova first, but we'll do it anyway. Technically the right move would be to test Nova first, but we'll do it. Ooh, we upgrade Sentinel. That is, I believe, the one that we have currently active. Because the combo damage. Now, granted, I have been very underwhelmed with combo damage, generally speaking. And if we were to go engineer... Now, we get the combo damage here as well. We don't really care about the tech construct stuff. Yeah, I get it's actually the tech recharge speed is the reason why we've been taking this over you. Oh, and this also has power shield cost reduction 40%? So does that mean Nova only spends 60 rather than 100 shields? I mean, we might not even need, in that case, to be worried all that much. So we get either a tiny bit more of the power shield cost reduction, or just get a single kill with Nova, then we're already capable of Novaing again, guaranteed, regardless of whether we actually need to be on 100%, or if we just need some non-zero amount of shields for that to work. Really want to just charge straight to that. But okay, so tedious, yes. Worth it? I mean, long term, certainly. Also, can we get out of here though? So if we can't do that, then it's probably not worth it. Can we leave through here? Hopefully, maybe, possibly, yes. Okay. Enemies that respawn behind us. This was a really big enemy here before, so I hope not. Doesn't seem like it. Can we go down there? I mean, I doubt it, but I am intrigued. That is definitely a container that we can gather. That is definitely a container. How do we get back up, though? Can we parkour up that to get back up here? So they wouldn't put this here if we couldn't get it, right? Is the way up over here? I mean, we have to check. We can save in here, which again, I'm very surprised about, but we must check this. So you can't tell me that is not something that we can loot. Because we can, in fact, loot it. It's the most worthless container we've ever seen. Well. Oh! Well, we can do this. Did notice an enemy on the mini-map that Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That was supposed to be a flamer. Hold on one moment there, observer. Fortunately, it's not very observant. That was also supposed to explode you. Oh, you're over there. Also, ow. Also, very much ow. That almost killed us. Alright, so it turns out there is this entirely separate elevation, this level. So, whoa! Oh, there are more enemies. Please pop back up. Except when I'm shooting you, not when I'm not shooting you. I'd like you to pop up when I'm in the act of shooting you. Okay. Oh, look, there's even more containers over here. It's a whole separate section. Okay, there's like this section, this area at least. This platform. Anything else we should be picking up on these platforms, or is this just purely for traversal purposes? I think this is just for traversal. I think we get up over here. If we make this jump, we can. If we want to be here. And now everything is good. Everything is fine. We could also probably use the health and the ammo. Alright, you know, didn't really expect that to be a thing, but it worked out, I guess, technically speaking. Happy little surprise, a little bit more experience, a little bit more loot. A little bit more enemies. There was, however, hold on, let's see if we can figure out from this angle. We saw this stuff spawn up, but we could not figure out how to actually get up here. So we went from this angle, and we got up there, I think, and then we couldn't make a jump up to the next platform from that section. So we theorized that maybe there'd be a different console that would create more, or that perhaps just approaching from a different angle would do the trick. Given now, I don't think that we've activated any additional consoles to make that easier. I am leaning more toward the angle being the key factor that we need to consider. Okay, now I was extremely indecisive about whether I wanted to dash there or not, and nearly cost us our lives, but it's like, how do we get up there? From there? It's quite the leap in that case. I honestly don't see any other way to make it happen. But also, what is up there? Why does that even matter to us? I don't know. That was extremely disorienting. It's like, do we try to make that jump? I don't even know if we can. Is there a different console here? It's a container. I'm pretty sure is what that is. Now, is it going to be the world's best container, or is it going to be like the other one that we just got not that long ago that was 5 aluminum? Alright, well, this is the strength of having the ability to save. No, we definitely cannot make that jump. Oh, hold on. What do we have here? What do we have here? That's what we needed. That's what we want to see. I almost still missed it. Okay. Yeah, it did. We also almost didn't make that. Really seemed like we just needed some other set of platforms, otherwise it was going to be impossible. And that did, in fact, turn out to be the case. But, excuse me, Drac. Alright, so, is this amazing or is it terrible? It is remarkably average. Was it worth the trouble? Debatable. I mean, ultimately, it was not that difficult to do once we did it the right way. It was, yeah, again, one of those work smarter, not harder type of things. Okay. So I think at this point, Let's gauge. Gone down here. I think we've done everything there. I'm not sure we've gone into this room. Is the one thing that I'm not sure of. So maybe we check. I mean, I might just be misremembering, in which case let's double check real quick, but otherwise, I think we've done basically everything here before activating the full-blown vault. Is this too far? No, it is. Section that I'm thinking of is at least through here. And this is the room that I was confusing the room with the skill point in for. Similar shape, but tree in the middle, whereas in the other case it had a bunch of consoles. Is that where we came in? I thought this was where we came in. This is looking a lot like the place. This is the place where we came in. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I was misreading the map at the very beginning. That means we've not been... Oh. Here.
Remtech. Bet we can grab it on the way back.
Okay, so here's
I will
another...
add this map to your interface, Pathfinder.
What? I mean, you're also not letting me activate this waypoint? But here's another one that, in the previous vault we were in, which I can't recall which planet that was, but, there was a place like this in the vault that seemed temporarily inaccessible, and the phrasing that Ryder had when we got close to it was something very similar to that. Something along the lines of, oh, let's see if we can get this on our way back, because right now it's not accessible. And I took that to mean that we could not access it until we activated the vault, and we had to go in there while we were rushing through and the stuff was chasing behind us. Then we tried to do that, and it turned out the place was still locked and we never accessed it. So all that is to say, fool me once, but, you know, is this more of the same here, and it's actually not the... Oh, go down there. That's interesting. And that's the same kind of barrier. And that also seems to be a major container. What the heck? So is it possible to do that stuff and it's just... it requires a different combination of consoles? We've not yet tried?
Remtech. Bet we can grab it on the way back.
Grab it on the way back.
I will add this map to your interface, Pathfinder.
Oh. Okay, so I really thought that we just used the melee to get in there when we were not supposed to be able to go in there, and then we basically just wall hacked. But it turns out it's just this tiny little area. But it's still maybe possible if you get this lined up absolutely perfectly. But alas. I will bore you to tears as I try to see if we can hack our way through there. But yeah, so basically, is there some combination of the consoles that would allow us to go through there, access this one, and the one in the other room? Is it truly something that only becomes available during the brief moments where we're running out of the vaults after activating the main console? Or is it just something entirely... I mean, I imagine it has to be one of those two things. The phrasing makes it sound... that Ryder has makes it sound like we need to activate this first, but given how that was not the case last time, I imagine that's probably not the case this time either, but then again, what do I know? Last time, apparently, it wasn't something that was some do-or-die quest item that if you don't get it here, then that's your only time you can ever get it at all. So basically we said, alright, you know, we'll deal with not having received it, even if we're trying to do everything we can to fully clear these spots. Oh, hello. Well, there are multiple of you. Like, 3 of you. Oh, cracked. A lot of damage. Are there 4 of you? Thank you for completely ignoring me. Let's casually pick this up real quick. I mean, high value salvage, we'll take it, but although, as we were saying recently, I'm not really sure that the money is going to be that valuable to us in the medium to long term.
This console will activate the purification field. You may want to sweep the area.
Before this place tries to kill us, you mean?
Right, so, again, at this point we've done basically everything outside of those 1 or 2 or 3 areas that seem to be locked off. And do those become accessible once we activate this purification field, or do they only become accessible through activating other combinations of consoles? Because that's the other thing, is we've already run around activating a whole bunch of different stuff, and I'd rather not have to traverse back and forth through a bazillion different places just to see what happens to be the right combination to get that stuff, make that stuff available to us. It would be one thing if it was like, okay, well, there's just one console somewhere that you just haven't seen yet, and that's what does it. Or, you know, you activated it before, but now you need to deactivate it. But if it's like, well, this one needs to be active, this one needs to be deactivated, then you need to go back and deactivate a different one back at the beginning, and then it's like, okay, yeah, there's only so much back and forth with this stuff that I'm willing to do. And this is coming from someone who I would generally consider myself to be ridiculously patient when it comes to trying to loot and optimize for these types of things, but even I have a limit. I'm realizing. This is coming from somebody who did several thousand runs of the infinite experience crates on Pharos in Mass Effect 1, for context. And that is not an exaggeration. Multiple thousand. This is an ultra rare. Beam augmentation. Sustained energy beam accurately deals. This is the one we put on the Hurricane, I believe. We might have only had one of them, and we used it on the Hurricane, so to pick up another one is definitely very nice. It's a good thing that we took a second to make sure that we looted that as well. So I think we just draw the line here. Like, we could save right before we do this, and if we really want to, we just try to double back here and say, oh, okay, well, there's also remains here. Shield disruptor. Disruptor ammo. Remnant decryption key. We totally have more than 2 of these. You can't tell me that we only had 2 of those. Yeah, so, like, we could reload that save if it turns out that we can't go through those things immediately after activating this, but I don't really think that that's a major concern. Like, if someone came back and said, oh, Lids, you know, there is something that you need for a quest that is just not even possible to complete if you don't activate that stuff later or pick that stuff up later on, then I'd say, okay, maybe it is worth it, but
Get ready to run. Here it comes.
I picked the wrong direction. Oh, hello. More of the purple fiery stuff. So I'm gonna try to run below and see if it happens to work. If that area that was previously blocked off is now available to us. It was down here. It looks like it might be.
Remtech, grab it.
Yep, we'll take it. Let's pause while we're going through here. That's nice. Okay, I mean, yeah. So it's just loot. I mean, some of it's high value salvage, but otherwise it's not amazing. It's like you could probably make more of a planned route to pick up all that stuff along the way, if you're really deliberate with it. Like, there was the stuff over to the side, right by where we got the extra skill point, which was seemingly a pretty huge room. Would be the thing that I would say would be most interesting to do. There's this area off to the left, which I want to see if we can get. Oh. Well, that did not happen to us previously. What the heck? I mean, this was the side area. So I went over here, didn't see anything. So it's like, okay, I kind of expected there to be a crate that we loot or something like that. Didn't see it, so I was like, all right, I don't know, maybe we scan. And then as soon as I pull out the scanner, dead. I don't know if that, like, maybe there's just something that automatically activates, that automatically kills you if you pull out the scanner during this sequence, or if it coincidentally was something that happened right when we did that. I mean, I was pretty sure we were going very fast at the time, which is why I was under the impression. I don't know if this is going to be active when we first do it.
This console will activate the purification
So,
field. You may want to sweep the area.
Was that a
Before
coincidence
this place tries to kill us, you mean?
that we died right when we pulled out the scanner? Maybe. Or maybe pulling out the scanner pretty much immediately kills you. Was it a coincidence that we died almost immediately after going to that side area? Or does going to that side area accelerate the rate at which the stuff goes through? I don't know. I don't know. Because I thought we were going through pretty quickly. I mean, we didn't have any enemies to fight.
Get ready to run.
Oh, well, we did,
Here it comes! Go, go!
a fusion mod for something? Okay, I don't know what that is. Oh, well, actually, no, okay. That actually explains where the fusion mods had come from in the past. I didn't realize those came from the vaults. Those are the big mods that we put on the chest plates sometimes. Okay, that explains a lot, actually.
Slow down!
So yeah, we accidentally went in the wrong direction briefly before. Just take all. So maybe we can be a little bit faster this time around for that reason. But it did still feel like we were being pretty quick. I mean, at least in part because there's no enemies for us to fight here, which is something that has usually been the case past go-rounds. It looks like we have a bunch of room here. I'm gonna try, and I don't know what's over here.
It's closing in on us! Move!
Okay, it just goes way faster when you're over here, but what is the significance of this spot then? I think we have to conclude that it just goes, because Ryder says it's closing in on us very soon after going in here. So for some reason it comes in much quicker when we go to that side area. But what is in that side area? Because I didn't see anything. Tried to scan previously. That didn't really do anything. There's nothing for us to loot there. So why do you go there? Field just moves? I don't know. I mean, we haven't tried just completely ignoring that side area. So I just want to know what's in that area. Like, why bother? Basically. Surely there is some reason why that place exists, and I don't know why it does yet. And that's what's making me so curious.
Keep moving!
And I kind of want to try going over to the right and seeing that other area by the place where we got the skill point as well. But I mean, that's even further away and more indirect, so I don't know. That feels like that's very tricky. But I guess we're gonna skip this one now? Like, I don't know. It's like I turned around last time to see how much room we had, and I think we had margin for error there. Okay, granted. Yes, like, do we have to?
Man, never gets less terrifying. Let's get out of here.
Do we do it now? Is that why? We're supposed to wait until after the okay, maybe we're supposed to wait. No, but now it's not possible to activate it. There's a door that can't be opened. Got a lot of experience. We got 40% viability on Elaaden. Obviously, Elaaden was already 100%, so that doesn't matter too much, although it did give us points for the Nexus slash whatever the official name for the overall cryopod thing is, and that might have given us.
Bet we can grab it on the way back.
I will add this map to your interface, Pathfinder.
Ryder and Sam both comment on it again. It's through there. Now that's the way back. It should be to the right of where we currently are. Wait, to the right? That just mix up my right and left? Possibly. Okay, it's this area with the locked door. So does activating a different console make this possible to go through here? Is that what does it? Because it looks like, you know, you have to go through all the trouble to make it happen. And we can't double back anyway. Oh yeah, no, that section is blocked off now. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, I just, out of curiosity, you know, if you're making it so difficult to do that, then I want to know what the payoff is supposed to be. Obviously, it seems like at this point we can't get that payoff, but I'd like to at least have some sense as to what I missed out on. And I am curious how you actually do make it happen, because we made a pretty concerted effort to go over to the side area, but it was not just as straightforward as walking over there, and again, there's just nothing to do once we did. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. What's the point? Alright, but vault complete on Elaaden. So that should be all the big stuff here. And theoretically, the heat is the thing that should now be more manageable, if not immediately, then at least sometime in the relatively near future. This was a
Pathfinder,
level 1 hazard
ambient
before.
temperature has dropped to 34 degrees Celsius and continues to decrease. Humidity has increased by 21%.
We can bring this place back to life.
It's like these guys, yeah, previously these guys, we blinked and they were dead with Flamer. Now it's certainly not that, but it's still decent. Okay. So yeah, this was level 1 heat hazard before. It said 34 degrees Celsius, whereas I think it was 50 something Celsius previously. So that's, I mean, 34 is still hot, but it's livable, whereas 50 plus is maybe not. It's a very particular path you have to take to get both of the REM techs. Huh. Okay. Very particular path when you are specifically after activating the purification on your way back out, or very specific path as in a very specific sequence of consoles that you need to activate to unlock the door. And you can do that whenever. Because, yeah, the whole, like, combination of different consoles to activate is, to me, that's just tedious, and it'd be one thing if they were all right next to each other. I mean, even at the beginning, when there were a bunch of them next to each other, it was still pretty annoying. But at least that's, you know, a little more forgiving if you want to trial and error it. Whereas if you have to jump around the whole place, if there's a timer when you're doing that because, you know, there's a hazard, which was the case in the, I think it was the Vold Vault, which, you know, is why that one was so annoying to go through, then that's just extremely cumbersome at that point. Whereas if it's all just about knowing exactly the right path on your way out, then okay, you know, with some proper planning and understanding that that is in fact the way that it works, then it should be feasible. And that is in part why I gave it a few attempts there, but I don't know. Alright, so Vault is now done. And the next thing on the list may now become something that actually, I mean, is here on Elaaden. But in terms of priorities, so we've gotten the outpost set up now on every planet. We have every planet up to 100% viability. We have only found the Solarian Arc, though, and that was a main quest mission that made that happen, whereas it seems like all the other ones, despite that being significant, finding the other species arcs, that is something that it seems like is technically optional side quest material, but important enough that I think we should probably prioritize that and perhaps put it at the top of our list, at least when it comes to the optional stuff now. So, with that in mind, is that on, what category was that under? It was under allies. The Turian Arc was the one that's here, right? Or at least, there's an anomaly on Elaaden to investigate as to whether the Arc itself is here. Who knows? Because we ran into what was it? Was it a Turian Spectre? It was someone of a somewhat high ranking back on Havarl who gave us some hints. But the actual Pathfinder, I think is a Vids here, believes that, or Mason Barrow is the Pathfinder? Yeah, Turian Pathfinder is still alive. He's recruited you to help find him. Yeah, Vids is the I think he was a Spectre guy who we ran into. So where exactly is this one? This one is over here. Okay, and that's where most of the things that we have yet to do on Elaaden are. Oh, I vaguely recall that, yes, we got the details to enter a remnant facility, but we've not yet done it. Obviously, we're just in a remnant facility. Then we have rocks and the water supply quest, which seems like that's a pretty significant one because that has had several steps to it. And then obviously the the Ark 1 and crash ship. 2 scavengers discusses a recent crash ship. Might be survivors. Okay, I mean, lots of stuff for us to do over there. So let's go to this spot. I think this is also right around where the worm is. I know, obviously we've seen the worm come bursting out of the sand every now and very frequently. I don't actually know if it can hit you and destroy. I mean, it has to one-shot you if that is possible, right? But I mean, there was some chatter of people trying to. Was there chat? People in New Tuchanka were talking about it. I don't remember if they were saying people tried to fight it or what, but I mean, if you're gonna throw a creature out like that, then surely there is an opportunity to fight it at some point, right? But I assume this is probably not the point in time for that to happen. I think we just go start with the northernmost one and work our way down here, pretty much. Which means that the Ark mission, which is the one that we're theoretically trying to prioritize, is actually not going to be one of the first ones we do. Also, there was a cache in the opposite direction, but I'm kind of choosing not to do that right now, because it is in the opposite direction. And hot take, or at least, whoa, speaking of the warp. Now I kind of want to test that theory. Yes, it definitely is over here, but, I've lost my train of thought. Call of the Void. No, I have no recollection of what we were referring to or talking about before. But yeah, we'll go quest by quest here, I guess, to a certain extent. You know, some of these may be more significant than others. I think all of them seemed like they had some importance to them. Like, this one had some build-up, tracking down a bunch of different things spread out across. I think it was all on Elaaden. Eventually, give us the location to go here. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. The hidden caches. They gave us at least some high rarity. There's at least one ultra rare that we got from the one hidden cache that we've done thus far, which makes me think, you know, maybe you could, since normally it would be easiest to get that upgrade from the cryopods early and then just go get those things during your initial exploration of the planet. Since we've already done our initial exploration of most planets, basically every planet, what we could potentially do is save those hidden caches until near the end of the game and deliberately just do them when we're...
Ryder, worm.
Does that mean this is the time where we fight it? Cause I don't think this... I don't think it's an enemy that we are ready to fight right now, or does it mean that the worm is right about to crash on us? I think ran into the creature with no ability to fight it, and it kept dying. Alright, you kept dying over and over again. And that's what you rage quit on us. I mean, that's possibly about to happen to us right now. I would not rule that out. I'm pretty sure that's what Drac is warning us about this very moment. Okay, well, here's the spot. Theoretically, I mean, surely it can't pop up here. So yes, it perhaps can. actually land on you and take you out. And that's certainly, I mean, when you first see it, and when you first see it, just the size and the volume of it is alarming and can certainly catch you off guard. Then as you start going up to this general area of Elaaden, you think to yourself in the back of your mind, I don't know, is this thing actually going to be able to hit me? Surely not, right? But if it is actually possible for it to do that, then that does amp back up the fear factor a bit, I suppose. So obviously we just went into a vault. So we just did potentially something very similar to this. In general, I think we had told ourselves that there's the worm. In general, I think we had told ourselves that when it comes to these types of things, we want to be mindful not to do them unless and until the game is actually directing us to these types of vaults, because that's also very annoying, flashing light. But in general, we're assuming that these types of encounters, these types of dungeons, if you will, these locations, the game is going to be very direct, telling us, hey, this is a place you should go to now because it's a significant thing, and you wouldn't want to just have the player randomly waltz in on one of them, because we almost did on EOS, and it was apparently going to be the Meridian, the most powerful one in the entire galaxy. So, you know, there is a quest directing us here. There was some build up to this, so I think we're still fine. But, you know, is this going to be same significance as a full-blown vault? No, surely not, right? But, you know, size could be close to it, I guess. It's not like it's going to change the climatic conditions on the entire planet. I wouldn't think so, but I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Pathfinder, I detect multiple organic readings.
Someone's been here.
Outlaws on their way!
Oh. I mean, we were, of course, just doing some stuff on, Oh. I didn't really want to hit you with that heavily armored unit with energy drain of all things, but Flamer was out of range. I mean, that was the ideal skill there. But yeah, we were obviously just talking a lot about the, oh, hello, there you are. About the Turian arc. So you're like, oh, organics, multiple organics. I was like, this wasn't the, well, this is located close to that Turian arc quest, but it is not the Turian arc quest. Here's a good example of how long our cloak duration is now. Answer, pretty long. Also, there are a lot of explosive containers around here that I keep finding myself standing right next to, which I do not particularly like. That's Drac. Who's at least, there are multiple dudes left, including an anarchist. He's one of the stronger guys. Are they actually respawning? Slash, just generally coming back in here? I saw at least one more red dot. Oh, yep.
I don't think we're done here.
Yeah, I mean, that was the last, the immediate enemies. Okay, so they're... Wait, how did the scavengers get down here in the first place? Maybe we shouldn't be at... What the heck? This is just a... Is this supposed to be a horde mode type thing where they
Looks like
do keep on respawning, or is it just because we dilly-dally? Like, am I supposed to wait around here? It's not thinking that was the case, but what do I know? It's kind of assuming we were supposed to...
Heads up, big guys ahead!
Oh, keep on progressing through here? There were totally remains here? There definitely were remains here seconds ago? Maybe it was this that I was thinking of? 25 freaking credits. Good stuff. I still don't see these big guys. Also, what are the biggest scavenger enemies that we've seen? Oh, those are remnant dudes. biggest scavenger guys we've seen have been the, what are they called? The Hydra? Is that what they've called their mechs? I don't know if that's technically the strongest of all the scavenger enemies, or there's actually something stronger still. Hello. Just casually walk straight into this while we're at it. Also, please don't. I was trying to get the anarchists, and here you are distracting me. Yeah, this is not ideal. On several levels. That's also gonna hurt if I walk into that, in all likelihood. I'd also like to do this just to get the shields back.
Good work.
I almost walked straight onto that grenade, and by almost walking straight onto that grenade, I mean that I basically did walk straight onto that grenade. Hold on. Let's have Drac take a little bit of fire for us. Drac, did you, or PB went, oh no, that's a grenade. I thought PB actually went down.
We've got enemies.
Still more of them? What about the looting? They are coming down with striking regularity. And it's another oddie, which means we should be relatively quick about dealing with that. That is a big remnant, dude. Wait a second, what? It's a Hydra against a destroyer? Usually you have to pay extra for that. I mean, I want to get closer, but at the same time, I want them to keep on fighting each other rather than fighting us. We should probably intervene though, right? Seems like the destroyer is stronger, which now it has shields and armor. Probably not that surprising. But we fought more destroyers than we have Hydras. Maybe don't stand within that, PB. Okay, so they just have humongous shields, but way less armor. Like, yes, we deal way more damage with Flamer to armor than we do to shields, but still. I mean, maybe that's the only reason there. Oh, we also have augmentations that deal extra damage to armor. And we don't have ones that deal... Might not have gotten any that deal extra damage to shields. So I guess we might just be seeing a combination of those two things make it seem like those guys have way less armor than they do shields, but... Again, what do I know? What, are you telling me those guys did not drop loot? Because if so, I don't believe you. Darn. Okay. So yeah, still don't really know what we're expecting to find. Down. Did we find that? You sure about that? No, this is the surface. Okay. I was gonna say, that didn't seem quite right to me. Alright then. What the heck is this? What does it even say our main objective is now? Acquire the remnant data. Sam has extracted an entrance code for intriguing remnant location. Maybe something value. Oh yeah. My other question is, how the heck did scavengers get in here in the first place? If it took us very extensive exploration and scanning and Sam to get in here, whereas they just waltzed on in. Yeah, we'll take that. Yeah, the sounds are a little unnerving. More remnant decryption keys. Which really makes me think that that other one with the skill point console, just for whatever reason, was, you're never allowed to use a remnant key on that. Okay. I think we... Oh, get you? And get you.
There is
Whoa.
a high concentration of valuable data here, Pathfinder.
Oh, that was the quest item.
That's what the scavengers were after.
They almost destroyed the nav point, too. all of this would have been lost.
Okay. I really just thought that was a normal tech node thing to scan for research intel, which is why I was very alarmed when we leveled up from that. It's a back door that leads out with no tricks. Okay, we may want to seek that out then. Not allowed to save in the actual vault, but we are allowed to save in the actual vault. We're not allowed to save here for reasons I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It makes zero sense when you can and cannot save in this game. All right. So we did the biotic upgrades last time, but we were saying there are perhaps some combat upgrades that we would like to do with the passive variety. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do here. On one hand, I'm pretty sure in the past I'd probably said, whoa, why do we need additional weapon load outside? We're never really going to end up using more than one, maybe two weapons at a time, and we, a little while back, got one extra loadout spot, so we have 3 weapons we can use total, so that's more than enough, right? However, as I was starting to say, we may have basically one setup for when we're using tech-based skills, more or less the build that we've been using thus far with Cloak, Flamer, Energy Drain, or maybe Overload if we want to swap that in later. And we have armor to go along with that gives us a bunch of tech damage and tech duration, tech cooldown, all that stuff. And then maybe, to a certain extent, weapons that also go along with that. You know, stuff like shield removal in general is the highest priority because as we just saw recently with the Destroyer, we don't have great damage against shields because, yeah, we can do 1 energy drain, but that's not really a major source of damage, whereas Flamer just eats through armor. So we may want to have a specific anti-shields weapon, and there are definitely weapons that could be well-tailored for that specific purpose for when we're using this setup. However, if we are later going to switch around to our biotic setup, then we may have a different weapon and a different set of armor that tailors more toward the stuff we're trying to do with that build, or compensates for the weaknesses that that build has. So, in that case, having an extra weapon slot so that we can have a weapon that is dedicated for that other build could be useful, because there is also, if I'm not mistaken, yes, wait, what is this button? This, that we've not yet used. But favorites, which I think is basically supposed to be a way for us to quickly switch from one setup to another setup. And we can have 4 of them. It's like we could have this is our tech setup, or our flamer support setup. This is our biotic setup. This is our combat setup, and this is our, generalist setup, or what have you. And so being able to have, this is our go-to weapon for this one, or go-to weapon for this one, so on and so forth. I could see a case for having an extra weapon so that you can, even while on the mission, without going back to the Tempest or another city to switch around your entire setup, you can mid-mission switch to different abilities and also a different weapon. Yes, if you can sort of have a general purpose weapon that can work well with multiple different favorite setups, then maybe you only need 3 weapons in that case. But that is at least the thought process there that makes it a little bit harder to say definitively if that is something we do or do not want. Whereas weapon clip size, spare ammo, it's hard to get excited about that. I mean, with the laser weapons that we've been using as of late with the mods, that is somewhat significant, yes. Because that does mean we can laser for longer. But the power cells we are not really using at all at the moment. There technically may be one use case for them, but I need to test that. So I'm not sure if that's going to be, might be just a net 0 gain force. At least from, that seems to be the most significant portion of it. Or at least it's supposed to be, is that extra combat power cell. And if that's not doing us any good, then why bother taking this? And then this is the real benefit, is the rank 6 is pretty huge here. Otherwise, let's just see what we have on the pistol side. Oh, it's the reload speed versus clip size question that we were asking ourselves before. And basically, you get both of those things with the level 5 here. And that's for all weapons, and assault rifles is probably similar. Yeah. That's interesting to a certain extent. Yes, if you just keep on hitting people with your assault rifle, the damage does start to stack up. And if you do this with a laser beam, that might almost instantly max out. Technically, you take that extra damage from all sources for 2 seconds, it sounds like, or enemies do, from all sources for 2 seconds. Now, because that's a short duration, that means, yes, you could do it for, you could shoot them for a little bit, and you could then switch over to Flamer and get 24% extra damage on Flamer for 2 seconds. That's not insignificant, the number at least, for the damage buff, but 2 seconds means you can only do it briefly, and then you have to switch back over to your weapon. So, it would be hard to use it as a major support system for other powers. It seems like it's mostly meant as a way to just double down on weapon damage. But it is tempting. Whereas this, you know, if I was going mouse keyboard, which I'm not, then we could be more precise with it. But in general, that's not really something that I'm not trying to be super precise with that stuff on a controller, because that's just more trouble than it's worth. More often than not, we probably are just going to end up missing if I try to get too precise like that. Pistol damage also increases accuracy, weak point damage when using the aim function to shoot. Yeah. Increases aim and stability without using the aim function. And this is basically just a question of what pistol are you using. Some of them you may want to be actively locking in, whereas some of them you may not do that very often. So, like Hurricane, it's not always. Technically, I think it does add some stability to it if you do lock it in, or, you know, aim with it. But, it has a lot of kick. So it's also annoying to be aiming in like that, because it's harder to correct for that. So, like, might actually prefer that for Hurricane specifically if we're trying to tailor it to that. Otherwise, oh, we did spend, okay, so the cat's out of the bag. This is the ability that I was thinking of potentially using that might rely on power cells that I need to test the way that this synergizes with Tactical Cloak before I'm ready to commit to this and ready to commit to if we want the additional power cells or not. So I would at some point like to, or I guess, you know, since this is not really a narrative plot point or anything like that, it's not really a spoiler per se, as much as it's just a mechanical question. Do people in chat, do you guys know if when you are cloaked and you have a trip mine out, deploys an explosive mine that triggers when an enemy comes within proximity of it or crosses a laser sensor. Enemies suffer more damage the closer they are to the mine. Activation requires one power cell from the trip mine's limited power cell supply. Maximum number of active mines equals current number of maximum power cells. So the more power cells you have, the more trip mines you can have. And you manually activate them and consume one of those power cells, or you just let enemies walk over it and then it doesn't consume a power cell. My question is, when you are cloaked and you place a trip mine, does that remove your cloak? Because in Mass Effect 3, using grenades does not break your cloak. And I don't know if that's still the case in Andromeda. I think that's a safe question to have answered, because that, as I said, that's mostly just a mechanical question, not really a spoiler per se, because that does affect the way that I want to build around this. Basically, if it does not break cloak, I'm interested in this ability. If it does break cloak, I'm not very interested in this ability. Granted, there is a trip mine ability in Mass Effect 3, and it is a lot of fun. So, if we were building slightly differently, then maybe we would prioritize this, but I just don't think we have enough points at the moment to invest much at all. There are other priorities, but yes, so my question is, does this break cloak? When you place / activate one of the trip mines, and that there may be a different answer depending on, you know, are you just placing when you're cloaked? Maybe that doesn't break your cloak, but activating it, maybe that does. Maybe neither of them do. But yeah, that is what ultimately will determine whether I have much interest in this ability, at least for this build, or not. And thus, that is the key thing that I want to test before determining whether we want that extra power cell or if we should just go for the extra weapon loadout. So, for all those reasons, I'm not yet sure what I want. I think we go clip size for the pistol. And maybe that's just the most straightforward option for us in the short term. And apparently that gives us Explorer. Okay, sure. I don't really think we want that right now, but sure. Also, pretty sure their squad mates are leveled up as much as they can be right now, but I'll double check real quick. Yeah. And PB, I think we deliberately did not take pull, but outside of that, yes. Okay, you say there's a more efficient way out of here that does not require that we double back. Like an additional door or series of platforms, like, make it up there. And not that this light makes it much easier to see. We just drop. Something tells me we probably don't drop down there. That's probably not the answer. And it wasn't that far that we went here, I don't think. Again, we can't really tell because it's just showing us the surface, but you know, we didn't traverse this place very quickly because we had very consistent swarms of enemies flooding us, but I think that's just the worm. Oh, let's see if we can get up there. So, like, I mean, I guess I'm not totally opposed to just running our way back. It's still, I think, a little smaller than a vault. Yeah, that's not so bad. That's pretty funky looking. Yeah, either way. We made it work. Okay, how do we get out of here? Also, the worm may be an issue on our way out. Just avoiding it. Supposedly there is a cache not too far from here. Or at least, you know, I guess it's down further in that direction. Are there some hidden caches that are truly hidden? Like the ones because as I said, we had already done a ton of exploration before we got this. We only very recently got that new cryopod bonus for the hidden caches. So they just automatically show up in the places that we've already been to, so they aren't secret in that case, but are there additional ones that we don't know of on our map here that only pop up once we get close? Because I'm not sure this was here initially. And I don't think we had been quite this far into this corner before, so that might be why. So this is pretty far from the forward station. It's another reason why I'm kind of surprised to see it over here. But now I guess we're going down the water supply, and there's also something over there. Okay, I don't think we're allowed to save down there, so let's save up here, because I'd rather not have to redo that if we do find ourselves getting crushed by the worm, which at this point, I've pretty much accepted that that is going to happen at some point. Why would I want to slow the Nomad? What's this? Is this the thing in question? No, I mean, the hidden cache has also disappeared. Unless this is it. Now, this is the question. A question mark? Is it the question mark? I don't know, man. There's a lot of enemies here, apparently. There are a lot of enemies here, apparently. Of the outlaw variety. This is not the best cover, the angle that I chose to go in here.
Never get used to that thing.
The worm? What's he talking about? That should have blown you up.
Now you're toast.
Is that dude still alive? No? Just this guy? I guess this works. There's also a grenade over there, apparently. Oh. And... hello. Just trying to light melee you. Is that light melee? I thought that was just melee. Oh, you're still alive as well. Now it feels like we're getting way more consumables dropping. Okay, so is this just a... hello, worm. That's pretty close. But it's kind of hard to tell because it's so big. Just a random group of outlaws with no significance to it whatsoever. It kind of seems like the case. It had the... it says point of interest. But it seems like that's just the same as any other random outlaw group that we've run into. And those don't always have icons for them. Ooh, okay. This is the spot we're looking for.
Nearby, Pathfinder.
Also, there is a special rock. I imagine there would be enemies over there? No? Are these two things basically in the same spot? The rock and the water supply? Located at the nav point for Ania's secret water source far out of the desert. Finding out how much water Ania has at her disposal and what more can be done with it could be beneficial. Okay. Oh, well, yeah, both these things. What is the deal here? We're gonna fight enemies on our way out. We'll eventually hide behind this cover, and that's when it's gonna be significant? I don't know. Seems odd that it's just here, doing nothing at the moment. Hold on, I see rocks. Okay, got stuck on them. There's an invisible wall here. There's not letting me go any closer to the nickel. That's weird. I can't. Why am I not allowed to walk any further here? And can't walk close enough to the nickel to get it? Unless we have very specific angle? What the heck? What is going on? That's a huge invisible wall. I mean, not that this nickel is the end of the world, but what gives? Just get this instead. Okay, so I imagine probably gonna run into scavengers somewhere around here. Imagine we're not gonna get a cave system map. No? Is the rock in? I'd assumed the rock was. Okay, hold on. Let's activate the rock quest for a second. I thought it was gonna be in here. Maybe it's not? Or in this direction. Wait. No, but it is behind us, so I think it's out of the cave. Let's get it first, in that case. Okay, there's nickel that is well inside the earth, which is retrievable, whereas this is not, because reasons. Okay, I will stop obsessing over this nickel, I promise. Whoa! Thinking maybe it's up there. But more in this direction? Yeah, it's right by this. This. Fluorite. But we don't mine it. I know... Well, no, of course we don't mine it. What is...
There has to be another way. What about recycling?
Can't rely on that. In this weather, we'd lose too much to evaporation.
Just looking for alternatives.
What
Hey, it's the
is
pathfinder.
your deal?
Ryder?
Hello? Need help?
Any assistance I can offer?
We were just about to pack it in. We were looking for a good water source for the colony. No luck, though.
Oh, you don't
No
say.
idea where the merchant in Paradise is getting hers.
No, I wonder.
A lack of reliable water might be a problem, leader.
Yeah, and we don't have any choice but to trade with Ania.
I'd ask for help, Ryder, but I'm not sure how you could.
Anyway, we should head back. Be well, Ryder.
Alright, now that's...
There has to be another way. Recycling.
Can't rely on that.
I mean, on one hand, you could make the case, if you don't happen to do this quest, or learn of this quest the quote-unquote right way, by doing all the other lead-up to it, then this is a way to sort of give you the hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But it's not very subtle. The fact that they are right next to the spot is a little absurd. Little absurd. Okay, so now I think we just waltz on through here and see what we can find, or, well, you know, explore thoroughly, yes, but see what there is to find here. It does have a lot of winding paths. I know I'm backtracking right now. I was about to say, which will make it hard to know when and where we've already been to, but I acknowledge that. I know that that was backtracking. I'm just making sure that there wasn't a side section or little notable thing there for us to pick up in that spot that we went around. That looks remnant. And of
How
course...
did a scan not pick this up?
Of course, if there is a critically important natural resource in the area, or something that is making the planet more livable than it would otherwise be by a significant margin, then of course it must be remnant in origin, because as everyone knows, no planet could possibly be livable without the assistance of remnant technology. I mean, my controller started vibrating. I'm pretty sure I know what to scan. Pretty sure it's that thing. But as for whether there's anything anything else to pick up in the meantime. Can I jump off this? Yes? I love it. Might even be able to get on that. I mean, this is just normal water, right? Technically not the molten remnant stuff. So we could totally jump in there. Actually, if we ever tried doing anything swimming-like with Ryder, I don't know if we have. Can Ryder swim? Alright. Obviously, it's this, right? So clearly the only logical thing to do here is destroy it with a laser beam. Right? Water supply pod. Purity 90.1%. This water is clean of any sulfur or other harmful chemicals, likely drawn from deep underground aquifers. Which is, I believe, what I had said it would be. An aquifer. That's what they were describing, more or less. But now what? So I suspect enemies will spawn in here after this, right?
I wonder what the Remnant Builders' plans were.
I'm disappointed, Pathfinder. I thought you were someone I could trust. I welcomed you into my home, and you repay my kindness by robbing me.
Didn't take anything.
Hey, I didn't take anything. Left every single drop of water where I found it. Count them if you like.
Very glib. Do you know why I do this? My brother tried
No,
to help
I also
your
don't know what
people
you look
when
like
they
either.
first came here.
Um,
He showed them where to find shelter,
Kind of
allowed them to
stepped
take
us- there we
food
go.
from our water tanks. He was killed for his trouble. I won't be as foolish as Asgar.
okay, now I will admit, I got a little distracted by how we couldn't see her, and might have missed a little bit about what she was saying. Something about her brother was here before, and did he, like, tell someone previously that this was where the water supply was, and that got him killed? Is that what she was saying? And so now she doesn't want to be as foolish as her brother, and that's why she'll kill us? Something like that?
That's awful. You have my sympathy.
I've no use for sympathy. You can keep it. These scavengers respect no one. Not me, not you. But they do respect the planet. As long as they need me to survive, they live by my rules.
You want me to forget everything I've seen?
Exactly. You say nothing. You allow me to protect myself and my home how I want.
So I mean, this is objectively bad for the rest of the planet, of course. Basically, allow her to monopolize the most important resource on this entire planet because she wants a monopoly on it? But Ryder, you must do this because that's the only reason why people rely on me. Okay? If you need a monopoly to support you, then you know, you are apparently incapable of running a profitable business without the support of a monopoly to back you up. So, and that is not in the interests of the general populace. So, I'm certainly leaning toward this, unless there's some other way to not interfere. Well, I mean, this is pretty cut and dry. Let her keep the water and don't tell everyone else, or tell everyone else but make her mad and fight people. Which usually, well, I guess Andromeda has maybe been a little bit more gray than Mass Effect in some aspects, in that the original Mass Effect trilogy obviously had Paragon Renegade. This is very much the, well, I guess this is the Renegade approach. Choosing voluntarily to fight when someone is giving us the option of peace. However, in this case, choosing to fight will very clearly have a greater benefit for a large portion of people, whereas this is a very greedy, just allow this person to control an extremely valuable resource because they want us to let them control a very valuable resource, and they don't really have any better reason than that. Oh, my brother died because he was also trying to be great. Sorry? That doesn't change the fact that you have very... it is not in the interest of the general public. Let's get more
How
info.
long have you known about this water?
Asgar and I found it years ago, on a mining expedition. The remnant nearly killed us. I knew, even then, that I wanted to keep it a secret. It gave us an advantage. It took time to convince Asgar, but he came around eventually. I made him promise.
Yeah, so you're an absolute jerk. Yeah, I needed the advantage of having a monopoly over the most important resource. Despite the fact that it was single-handedly the most important thing to facilitate colonizing this planet, but I'm not going to let other people do that. No, it's all for me. Just, no.
You expect me to do this just because you asked nicely?
Your
At
Nexus
gunpoint is
needs
not necessarily
resources
nicely,
to
but...
survive. Elaaden is rich in those. What I
Yeah.
gather, I will share, just so long as Elaaden remains mine.
Just as long as you control how much you share, rather than removing you and allowing us to in your stead, more equitably share. I could go into a whole spiel about the economics of why having a monopoly would allow her to... basically, in short, it allows her to reduce supply because that increases prices of water, which benefits her but doesn't benefit the colony because more water is important when that is the primary limiting resource on this planet. So, we're gonna stop you.
By keeping this secret, you're preventing anyone from establishing a real home here.
I've allowed your Krogans to stay.
It shouldn't be about what you allow. It's not up to you.
Right.
So now I have to sit by and watch you destroy everything I've built.
Yeah.
I will hound you every step of the way. This isn't over.
Oh, I thought we were gonna fight you right now. Oh, okay.
Get them! Kill
Yeah.
them if you can!
Okay. Hey guys. How's it going? Where's... Oh, there, yeah, there's more. There's more. Hey, man. The premise, the way in which we did that is just ridiculous. In cover, no look, over the shoulder, laser beam the guy with what is technically a sniper rifle.
Great. Ania got away. What now?
Oh.
Get word to Kesh. She'll put someone trustworthy in charge of the trading post.
Sam?
As you wish, Pathfinder. I have relayed the information to the Nexus.
Let's hope this works out for the best.
I mean, I think it very clearly should. In a logical world, it would. Because monopolies are market failure. And allowing the monopoly to persist when there is an alternative would be objectively inferior from an economic standpoint, a resource management standpoint. Okay, I mean, no, there were not other enemies spawning out here, but alright, so, you know, exactly how that's going to play out long-term, don't know. Is that, I mean, someone said, was it Sam who said, going to relay that information to the Nexus? So, I don't know, maybe the game is going to try to make us feel bad about having done that, but, you know, I stand by it. But here is the Turian Lost Ark. Now, do we take a quick moment to sidestep over here to see what this question mark is all about first? Maybe? I don't wonder if this point of interest is going to pop up with more significant stuff later on. Or a later quest, maybe? Wait. Yeah, so actually east, or rather west. Straight west. This is what I want to see first.
Worm, stay out of its way.
What is that?
Analysis shows it's a remnant abyssal. Locals call it the Worm. Non-hostile and impervious to weaponry.
Oh.
However, I advise keeping your distance.
Good to know.
Pathfinder, this area can be mined for resources. You can
that's
extract
easy.
minerals via your mining interface.
It's not often we get that. Also, I'm surprised we got more info from Sam. On a 25 ESO is a lot. Surprised we got more info from Sam on the worm right now of all times. It's not my most accurate flavor I've ever done. There's a a lot of enemies here. There's one over here as well. Ow. Excuse me, PB? If we can get all those enemies simultaneously, that was probably preferable. It's technically 2 groups of them, I think is why, because that gave us experience before we killed them all. We'll probably get more experience when we kill the last of this. Hello. Second group. Yep. I was kind of hoping that at this point we're going to be technically out of worm range. Based on how Drac said that the worm was about to spawn on us. That seems as though that is definitely not the case. More beam emitters. At this point, that means we have at least 3 of them, one of which is in use, and 2 of which we picked up recently. There's no glyphs for this one. It's not an actual, full-blown monolith or anything like that. Even if it really looks like one. It's mostly just enemies to fight in that case, unless there's other containers around here. There is the worm. Yeah, I guess it does very much look like it can still be around here. Have we ever tried scanning one of our doodads of the mining variety? Eh. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah. Oh, that's the part of the... Speaking of monoliths, that monolith. Okay. Let's head now toward what was technically the primary reason why we were sticking around on Elaaden, which is to investigate more about the Turian Arc. So hopefully we can get there without running into too much more worm action.
Pathfinder, this area can be mined for resources. You can extract minerals via your mining interface.
Though we just established that it can in fact pop up over here. Well, it looks like it's whatever this thing is. And what is that? Don't think we know what that is. Maybe that's worth a quick little detour. Is that actually the... Oh.
Stasis pods from Ark Natanus.
Are any of them alive?
It's difficult to obtain a clear reading on all pods at once.
That's
You
the
should
other thing that I was
investigate.
referring to. We try that first. There are obviously other enemies that just spawned down here as well. Alright, maybe we take them out first. Normally we would have the range to do this on the Black Widow, but that may not be the case since our laser conversion. Now we can though. Oh hey. Oh, okay, maybe this was not the best angle to take. Also, especially because I was just trying to bob and weave until we got Cloak back, but because I waited forever to break Cloak, we had before firing last time with the laser beam Black Widow, because we had to get closer to activate it. We had the maximum recharge time on it, which meant that we were not safe. Oh. And the enemies just didn't spawn. Well, that's annoying. Alright, well, I mean, this was the other place that I was curious about.
Pathfinder, this area can be mined for resources.
We've been to... Whoa!
Look out!
What am I looking out for? Those guys, I guess?
Look out!
What am I looking out for? We've been to this? So, whoa, there's a lot of stuff here.
Scourge around it. Careful.
There's a whole lot of enemies over here. Here's the low ground. It's over. Another ship? With what kind of enemies? I mean, have ships been the things that are delivering Remnant enemies in the past? No, it's outlaws, outcasts. There are wild animals, Remnant, and outlaws, all in this spot, in close proximity, fighting each other. Except they're not big. I tried.
That's one day.
That was Drac that I just started trying to shoot at.
Whoa, heads up!
What? Well, oh, okay, I was about to say. We definitely fought a lot more enemies than 63 experience worth. Perhaps because we are not done yet until we take out this Hydra. There we go. Bada boom. No experience for that, though? Well, that seemed like a pretty significant encounter. Is it just 63 for that entire thing? The enemies wouldn't even give us the run back before? How dare they? Well, we got these ones to replace them, so don't worry about it. Just that these guys... We'll pick up the remains, of course, see if there's anything decent out of this. Lots of high value salvage, but just seemed like this was, given how many enemies spawned here, an encounter of reasonable significance, the point where I expected either a larger chunk of experience at the end and or other things pop up. Okay, we got a ton of research for that. So we definitely have not been here yet. So technically, because I got both of those separate sources of Scourge in quick succession, and it seemed like it was one humongous source of intel. Oh, I missed. This is probably the proper way up anyway. Yep. It's at least this container. Not that good, though. Oh, you can see our mining drone. Oh, thought I saw something else there for a second. Yep, I did. In fact, oh, I thought that was platinum for a second. I was going to say that's very sneaky platinum. Very shy platinum, I should say. Anything else? Oh, come on. No! I know we can make that jump. It just requires curving around a corner more than I would like to. Come on, see. In order to go forward, first we must go backward. That's annoying. That is extremely annoying. I do this. Oh. Just do it. Oh, just do it this way. Except we can't go up further anyway. Oh, that's much further away than I thought it was. Yeah, I think this is the highest we can go. Possibly? Can we still go higher? PB's up there, but, yeah, this might be extent to which there's stuff of interest over there. There are things over on that platform that I just saw. Up here. At least, it might just be ammo, but double check. Yeah. That it is. That's the one that we scanned, right? Because that was the double. Gave us a bunch of research. Anything over here? This might be the one that we've not gone up yet. But it looks quite empty. Check that. It's just ammo and whatnot. We went up here. That's where most of the stuff was. Okay, I think we're good. Where is the Nomad? There you are. Just shoot the Nomad while we're at it. And melee Nomad while we're at it.
Pathfinder, this area can be mined for resources.
If you want to give me ESO again, I'm all for it.
Minerals via your
Actually,
mining
might be a
interface.
non-zero, very low, but non-zero amount of ESO momentarily there. Is that true? I take that back. Is it in general, like, close to the Scourge? Where we're getting, yeah? Best sources of that stuff? Ooh, look at that. That's pretty juicy ESO right there. I'll take that. 55 ESO. That's huge. By ESO standards, at least. We'll take it. Okay, now back to the Turian dudes, who are... Oh, no, that's... No, they're over there. Slightly different. Slightly different. Yes, that other thing we may still go to, but... Turians first. So last time there were some enemies who spawned here. No run back. No... never mind. Yes, there are enemies a little bit closer to them. It's time for attempt number 2. That's a separate group altogether at this point. Hey, friend. I think I've just now made up my mind that I am trying to make more of a concerted effort to get some melee kills because reasons.
You want a piece of me?
That was brutal. I mean, that being said, now, having established that, obviously I'm not going to get an obvious melee kill there. That would be too predictable. Gotta keep them guessing. You're already... No, you're not already dead. Not guessing with a laser beam you in the head.
No life forms detected, Pathfinder.
That's not good.
Let's keep them from smelling.
Sam, we should have Mason's genetic profile in the initiative database. Let's check it against the pods.
Uh-oh. That's probably not good. Also, what was that? Nothing on our map for that. Try to put a point of interest in a general location. As to whether I remember that that's actually an intentional point of interest that I placed down, marker, what have you. That remains to be seen. Alright. So obviously hoping that this is just some subset of the Turians that are dead. And that there is still some cohort somewhere, ideally including their Pathfinder, that is still alive. That remains to be seen.
Not Mason Barrow.
And Mason Barrow is the Pathfinder, so we don't want Mason Barrow to be found here, otherwise Mason Barrow is dead.
Too many variations in the genome.
Huh? Well, we do have names of the colonists. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage. Most likely from the impact of the pod hitting Elaaden's surface. Okay, so they crash landed.
Reading negative.
Oh. Pod. Compromised when it made contact with the Scourge. Okay, slightly different explanation there.
This one's got power.
Oh? Asta Relux. No vitals. Cause of death, cardiac arrest. Inhabitant's family had a history of heart failure. Marked as a risk for stasis, but refused to be turned down. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously that means we should do that as quickly as possible, but also kind of want to see what the other stuff is. Starvation. She's in a coma when she pass away in her sleep. I guess that's unfortunate.
Turian, but not their pathfinder.
Oh, we're also getting research intel from this, so I guess that's another reason to do it. Exsanguination. Scourge pierced through pod into the inhabitant. Yikes.
Subject is a child.
Okay. Not sure why that's relevant in this situation. Unfortunately, they're still dead.
Subject is too old. None of the pods match Mason Barrett, Pathfinder.
Hopefully that means he's still alive.
Yeah. Hopefully. What is the deal with this one, though?
Help me get it open.
I mean,
Pathfinder,
said they're
the
dead.
body has no vitals.
Right. I mean, so I'm not really sure what Ryder's trying to achieve here, but I don't know. We'll see. I guess.
Sam, check the pod's history.
Possibly see a dead
According to
person.
the final log, this stasis pod was jettisoned from Ark Natanus.
Jettison.
Because of the Scourge.
The timeline doesn't match. This pod was ejected long after Natanus was reported missing.
Which suggests that Natanus went missing, but after that was still functional, and the Turians are somewhere doing something.
We assumed the Ark was destroyed, but maybe it's intact. The crew could still be alive.
And dropping dead weight.
We should update Avitus. He'll want to know what we found.
Yeah, that gives us a little bit of viability. There's also one enemy over there. Okay, these are the ones, basically, that killed us before. A whopping 2 enemies because of this very situation. I cloaked early, took forever to walk up to them to get into range of their our laser beam. To the point where, ow. To the point where we weren't going to get cloaked back quickly enough to keep me alive. So that one is our revenge. Okay. Now there was this, which actually was significant. I remembered, or at least we're wondering if it's significant, or it was over there. Let me hop in the Nomad and give another look. It seemed like it was off in a different direction.
Lots of space out here for the Krogan to expand. That's the hope, anyway.
This. What is this? Yeah, it looks like part of a ship. Or is it? I don't know if that's a remnant origin or what. Hold on, let me investigate further. Yeah, unconfirmed. Okay. Let's remove you then. Maybe we'll end up heading back here on a later occasion. But so the quest that we just completed about the Turian Ark basically was check back in with somebody who I assume was on the Nexus, or was it the person that we saw on Havarl, the Spectre dude? And then maybe we'll get redirected somewhere else once we've spoken to them. This is the crash ship. That's a different thing that I think while we're in the area we might as well do. So at this point, you know, in the past for other planets we had made a deliberate effort to not quite do every single quest just in case there was some plot-related thing or mechanical thing that would reduce viability on a planet in time, and so we'd have to redo or do other missions to bump it back up to 100%. It's been long enough now that I'm kind of thinking that's not going to end up happening, but, I mean, most of the stuff that we've done and the time that we have spent has been doing side quest related things, not main quest related things, so I guess there's still a non-zero chance that, you know, the Ket come in after you complete 3 more main quest missions and wipe out all of the colonies and outposts, and so every planet's viability drops by 50%, and if you didn't save enough side quests afterward, then stuff is gonna stay on 50%. I don't know. But, I bring that up because at this point, there's a few other things left here, but not a lot on Elaaden once we start doing this stuff. Yeah, you know, there may be other things in these corners that we've not yet explored to a certain extent, but I don't think there will be that much. I guess this corner over here remains the largest section that we don't yet know much about. This might be functionally mostly just a wall. So yeah, I think we're still okay doing these 2 things, but then we'll probably want to head back up. So we're saving at least a tiny bit of stuff. And of course, there may be things that are just not available yet until we talk to additional people, make other main quests, progression, and what have you, before we get further in the game, basically. This is the crash ship. We might have wanted to get a little bit closer. Defend the crash survivors. Uh-oh. Which are the ones that we're trying to protect? I'm guessing the saboteur is not one of the people that we are trying to protect. In large part because he has a life bar. Our melee does not do much damage, does it? Also, that was definitely not putting away our weapon. Was oh no, that's switching our. Really? That's a different way to switch our weapon. Oh. That would have been extremely helpful to have known that previously. Oh. The more you know. I'm totally gonna not remember that. Is there gonna be more enemies dropping down here? Pretty sure there's gonna be more enemies dropping down right in front of us. Hey, pals! How are you? Alright. We've defended the survivors. Fought several rounds of enemies at this point. Alright, what's the deal, pilot?
Your timing is impeccable, Pathfinder. Another minute and those scavengers might have been wearing our skins.
I certainly hope not. Are they cannibals?
You're not serious, right?
Who knows? We've heard stories. The desolation makes people a little unbalanced.
No, we've actually heard stories like that as well.
Help.
Of course. Sam, relay this location to the Tempest and get them to send a shuttle.
Done, Pathfinder. Help is on the way.
We'll just wait here till our ride comes. I don't expect we'll run into any more trouble. Thank you again.
It's
All
that
right.
damn scourge. We wouldn't even have crashed if we hadn't clipped it. I hate Helios sometimes.
Alright, I mean, this seems pretty minor compared to some of the other things we've been doing as of late.
Gonna tell everyone how you saved us. Thanks again.
Oh. It was nothing. I totally wasn't just downplaying the significance of what we just did. Also, they're just gonna follow. They just keep on following us? To what end? Wait. What? I mean, were they actually fighting in that previous encounter? Wow, the worm goes this far down. Because if so, could we just have them follow us for the rest of our time on Elaaden and have several additional guns helping us out. What is that? Well, that's our mining node. What is that? Probably one of the monoliths. I mean, you're following us a lot further than I mean, I didn't think you were gonna follow us at all. Then once I realized you were following us, I assumed it would only be within a certain radius next to your area. That's not really the case. Now, if we hop in the Nomad, or surely you're not gonna follow us if we go into the Nomad. What? Excuse me? No, you're not serious. Oh my goodness, the things we could do. I mean, obviously we could run them over. There's that. But also, we could just zoom across the entire planet of Elaaden and see if they will follow us through the entire wilderness. You know, like if we drive all the way to the far reaches of the planet, obviously I assume that we're faster than them, but even if we get so far ahead of them that they are out of sight, are they technically still trying to follow us? And eventually, minutes later, we will eventually see them, you know, come over the horizon like, oh, Ryder, oh, we finally arrived. It's been 3 days. You abandoned us back there. Like, yeah, why were you following us? Or do they eventually stop following us? Can we legitimately bring them into other fights? Will they actually assist us? I don't know. I did not actually expect. Oh, did they? No, they're still there. They're still there. All right. Well, I guess at the very least, we'll drive down to this waypoint and we'll see if they follow us all the way there. This is the waypoint of the. Is it this place where we just rescued them, wasn't it? No, it's further south than that. There's also, what I wouldn't have expected, this is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but there are some of these guys. It's like, we just sped ahead. They're still trying to follow us! They're absolute legends. These are now officially my favorite NPCs in the entire game. This pilot is amazing. She's now my favorite character. And it's not close. What is this stuff doing out here? Does this always happen in every single playthrough with these NPCs? Is this just a known thing? Or is this a relatively unique circumstance? I don't know, but I love it. That's amazing. That's incredible. Okay, come on, team. Let's go. Hold on. Hold on. Don't mind us. Did we get this one? I don't remember if we got that one. I hope we got that one. This is the point of interest. All right, so presumably there will be some remnant enemies here. Will they help us fight them? There are definitely some remnant enemies here. Let's stop a little bit away. Oh, you saw them spawn in. So I was wondering if we get far enough away, are they basically gonna despawn? But no, you saw them spawn back in because the game always, when it spawns people, has them start above the surface and then drop down a little bit, like whenever we pop out of the Nomad. And it did that with these guys as soon as we looked over the crest of the hill, and they still came down. Okay, these pilots will go down in history as the greatest pilots the world has ever seen. And they will assist us in this battle, because they are the greatest pilots the world has ever seen, and the greatest combatants that the world has ever seen, by extension. But you're the one shooting. Okay, can anyone tell if they're helping us? They are totally helping us. Confirmed, they are the best NPCs in the entire game, the best characters in the entire game. They're shooting. They're shooting. And they're dealing minuscule quantities of damage, but that's okay. That's okay. Like, they deal a fifth of the damage that we deal with 1 second worth of flamer, that's fine. That doesn't matter. What does matter is that they followed us here, and they're just contributing. This is technically 2 groups, isn't it? So we already got the experience from that. Yeah, we got separate kills of experience from that. 3 groups? No, I don't know what you were shooting at just then, in that case. So does everybody get the legendary pilots like this? Or is that just an us thing? Freaking legends, man. Oh, almost missed this. Not that it is going to make much of a difference. Any other stuffs? Containers hiding around here? The periphery? Maybe they'll help us loot as well. Where'd they go? Did they leave us? I mean, they did grace us with their presence during that encounter. And I guess that's really all we can ask for. I think they may be gone. But they will not be forgotten. I can promise them that much. They will not be forgotten.